After a lopsided defeat last night, the Harbor Hawks make a quick trip out east on Independence Day, as the boys in blue and white are set to take on the boys in red and white for the second time in as many days. Now, Whitey last night at McKeon Park won 13-1 and scored every inning but the second and third. They put together 10 runs in the final 5 frames, and their offense was scorching on all cylinders. For Hyannis, they just had a tough go of it on both sides, but just one game, one they're going to flush and look to bounce back from today with the right-hander Tyler Madison on the mound, set to make his 3rd technical appearance and 3rd start in a Harbor Hawk uniform in 2019. And they look to bounce back today and make up some ground on the Bourne Braves, who lead them by 5 points. Bourne sits with 12, Hyannis with 7. And piece by piece, they look to chip away. It's the Harbor Hawks and the Red Sox on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. And with that, we welcome you inside the broadcast. Lyle Goldstein, Brendan Howe, thank you so much for spending your day with us, and a happy 4th of July to you all. Now, Brendan, here we are on Independence Day. First and foremost, you could not have scripted a better day for weather.
No, not at all. And I mean, it's about 75 degrees, a slight breeze going across the ballpark, and fans still filing in as we speak. An absolutely gorgeous day here on the 4th of July, and we're ready to play some baseball.
5 o'clock here from Red Wilson, so a little bit of an earlier start time as Red Wilson Field in South Yarmouth. No lights. One of 3 fields without them. Brewster, and Katuitt. But it'll be the right-hander Ryan Hare for the Red Sox, towing the slab for his first start in a YD uniform in 2019. He was activated just 3 days ago as the right-hander from UNLV gets warm, and Hyannis is set to go out east in Yarmouth. Their lineup tonight looks like this. Anthony Servideo leading off, playing shortstop. Rowdy Jordan hitting second. Trevor Hauver in the 3 spot, with Hunter Goodman, the designated hitter, doing the cleanup duties. Edward Julian making his 2nd start in a Hawks uniform, hitting 5th. Jared DeSantolo playing first base tonight and hitting 6th. And the final third of the lineup, Jackson Olsen, Bryce Teodosio, and Adam Hackenberg. So Brendan, as Whitey warms here, and we're just about set for play here on the 4th of July, what's plain and simple going to be the biggest key for a bounce back for Hyannis tonight?
Well, last night they only racked up 1 run on 3 hits, so I think it's just putting the bat on the baseball. And unfortunately for Hyannis, a lot of the trend this year has been putting balls right at the fielder's glove. So I think today, just try and stay aggressive, and maybe the hits will start falling for you. But that's really all you can do, is just stay aggressive, work into some fastball counts, try and get ahead and rack up the walks. We saw it rack them up in bunches at the hands of the Orleans Firebirds the other night. But last night a struggle, so just got to flush that one and move on to tonight, starting right now.
So Anthony Servideo, the Ole Miss Rebel, digs in from the left side of the box, and things are set to get underway on Independence Day. Hyannis and YD, the 2nd of 4 matchups in 2019, the 1st of 2 at Red Wilson Field. Servideo steps just outside the box as home plate umpire Jeff Merzel stares down the 3rd base line. Servideo will dig in. Ryan Hare from the windup, peering over the glove. Slow windup, rocks and fires, fastball up high, we're underway. 5:02 the first pitch time here from Yarmouth. A 79-degree day at Red Wilson Field with a slight breeze, as Servideo works with a 1-0 count. The slow kick and delivery. Pop up left side, a lot of foul ground at YD, giving chase Riley King. He's moving back, and he'll watch it sail just in front of the crowd that resides down the 3rd baseline. So the Red Sox faithful have packed it up pretty nicely today. A couple lines of Cape Cod League fans sit down the left field line and fill up the bleachers as well. First base side a little bit more scarce. That's where the Hyannis dugout resides. 1-1 from Hare. Servideo swings and chops it right at the 2nd baseman, Dugas. Fields going to his left, flips to first, 1 down. So Servideo grounds out to the shortstop, Gavin Dugas, for the first out of the game. That turns things to Rowdy Jordan. So Hyannis tonight wearing their road blue uniforms. Orange lettering with the white trim. White pants with blue pinstripes, as well as the blue helmets up on top. For Whitey, their home white uniforms, red hats, red belts, and red lettering. Hare ready. Pitch to Rowdy Jordan. It's up and away. Rowdy picked up his first hit of the summer last night. Part of a 1-for-4 day. And was just 1 of 2 hits against YD starter Jack Leftwich last night. Hare gets the sign from the catcher. Cardenas fires home. It's up high. Whitey defense tonight. Left to right in the outfield, Austin Wells, Brad Beasley, and Jake Palmer. Same way in the infield, Riley King, Wyatt Young, Gavin Dugas, and Jack Wold. And the battery one more time, Cardenas out of UCLA behind the plate, and the right-hander Ryan Hare out of UNLV on the mound. He's ready, the 2-0. Swing, and the bat goes flying down the first baseline, and it lands just in front of the Hyannis dugout.
Well, we saw that last night at McKeon Park. And at McKeon, there's some netting that protects the dugouts as well as the bleachers that reside behind it. But no netting here. As you mentioned, Lyle, a bit earlier, a lot of foul ground here at YD. But fortunately, that bat not reaching any spectators.
A warm and muggy day here in South Yarmouth as Rowdy Jordan takes a minute to put some extra pine tar on the handle of the bat. But he picks up that same piece of black lumber and walks back toward the left side of the plate. Rowdy, a switch hitter. From the left side, feet just over shoulder width apart as the right-hander Hare gets the sign. 2-1. Up high, 3 balls, 1 strike. So Hyannis last night dropped the contest 13-1. They were out hit 14-3 by what was the visiting YD team. But in what's game 2 of a home-and-home series, YD the home team, and Hare delivers the 3-0. Jordan throws the bat again. This one gets all the way into the crowd and lands just in front of the bleachers. So again, the muggy conditions, Brendan, clearly having a little bit of an effect.
And Jordan with a bit of a shocked expression on his face as he walks toward the dugout and flips his hands like, what else can I do? I mean, he peppered on the pine tar on that bat, and it just goes flying over the fence. And this one just barely skimming the front row of the bleachers. Fortunately, everyone got out of the way.
So Rowdy wipes his hands on his 2 pant legs and now is going to get a new pair of batting gloves. He was sporting some orange and blue gloves. Now puts on some primary orange with white trim gloves. When he comes back to the plate, it'll be 3-2 with 1 down. It's 0-0 in the top of the first. Servideo, the only man to complete an at-bat thus far. He grounded out to second. So the Ole Miss Rebel retired. The Mississippi State Bulldog Jordan making his way back into the box. And Hare gets the sign that we are back in play. Slow leg kick, delivers the 3-2. Down low, and he lost him. So Rowdy Jordan works the full count and draws a 1-out walk. And the first base runner of the game for Hyannis is aboard at first here in the top of the first.
Well, Jordan, 2 airborne bats in that plate appearance, but results on first base. Able to draw a walk. That fastball looked to be just a bit inside, grown from the home supporters here in YD, but more importantly for Hyannis, a base runner on with 1 out.
That brings up the left-handed hitting Hauver. He's got his knees bent from the left side of the box. Bat just above his left shoulder. Hare works from the stretch, the slide step offering. Good breaking ball in the outside corner. It's strike 1. So Hare's flashed a fastball breaking ball combo thus far. Recorded 1 ground out. And then walked Rowdy Jordan just a minute ago. Hare checks the runner. He fires home. It's down low, count levels. Hauver last night 0 for 3 with a walk. And between him and Jared DeSantelo, they have racked up free passes on the 2019 summer. Each of them have 12 walks. That sits tied for 3rd in the Cape Cod League as Hare throws over for the first time. Jordan's back with a head-first dive safely. So 1-1 count to Hauver. Hare back on the mound. The shortstop Young shifted a little toward the bag at second with Jordan on first. He's got some speed. Offering to Hauver low and away. Trevor walked 39 times in his sophomore year at ASU. Was part of a monster sophomore breakout season for him. Put together a .433 on base. as well as a 13 home run improvement from his freshman year. 2-1 from Hare. Just catches the top of the zone. It's 2-2. Hoffer kicks the bat to his right foot as he steps out of the box. Hunter Goodman awaits on deck. 0-0 the score in the top of the first. Jordan's going to get about a 2-step lead off of first base. Held on by Jack Wold. The right-hander Hare comes set right above the belt. Fires home the 2-2. That runs away and the count swells. Trevor on the summer hitting .218, but again, he's sprayed a lot of balls that have just been right at people. Left fielder Wells shaded a little bit toward the gap. Playing pretty deep in left as well. 3-2, runner takes off. Hoffer swings away. That's a bloop shot into shallow left center. In comes Beasley, drops in front of him. Station to station goes Rowdy Jordan as Trevor Hoffer records the first Harbor Hawk hit of the night. And there's runners on first and second with just one down.
Well, like we mentioned, just got to stay aggressive for Hyannis. That time, Hoffer going out on the outer edge of the plate to get that one, just extending the bat head out, poking one into shallow center field. Beasley with not much of a chance to come in and make the play on that. So Hoffer pushing Jordan up to second base, 2 on, 1 out.
That brings up Hunter Goodman. 2 home runs on the summer, 13 RBIs. Hyannis has not scored first in their last 2 contests. Pitch from Hare, big cut and a miss from Hunter Goodman, and he swings over the top of an off-speed offering. Goodman got a pinch hit appearance last night. In that, he popped up to the third baseman, Riley King, to end the ball game. That was the last out of the bottom of the ninth, but here he sits with 2 on, 1 out. Pitch from King, or rather, that's Hare. It's inside. King, the third baseman, shaded a little bit toward the line. Now he's going to move a bit to his left. But Goodman, throwing out that pinch hit appearance last night, has recorded RBIs in the last 3 games he's played. And the last 3 starts he's made, he's recorded RBIs. 1-1, swing and a miss at a heater. It's 1-2 to the Memphis product, Goodman. Hunter still with 2 home runs on the summer, both those coming very, very early. But that hasn't stopped him from putting on some absolute shows during batting practice. And today at YD, who's got easily the shortest center field in the league, he took advantage of it. 1-2 from Ryan Hare. Swung on and popped up foul over the press box behind home plate. It gets out of play. So Brendan, in case you're unfamiliar, Red Wilson Field does not have numbers up indicating the distance between home plate and the fence, but it is 352 feet to center field, according to YD officials.
Wow.
352 feet.
Very short.
Goodman wiggles the bat just in front of his shoulder as he swings and comes up empty at a fastball from Hare. That's the second out of the inning. So Ryan Hare records his first punch out on Cape Cod, and there's 2 down for Edward Julian. So Julian, the Canadian product, digging in from the left side. He's making his second start in a Harbor Hawk uniform. Quickly adjusts the helmet. He'll take half a practice swing at the mound and taps the plate a couple times. Edward Julian, the only extra base hit for Hyannis last night. That was a double back in the 5th. The stretch in the offering from Hare, fastball outside. So Julian coming off a huge sophomore year at Auburn University, where the Tigers made it all the way to Omaha. So one of the final 8 teams remaining in collegiate baseball. They got to partake in the College World Series. Julian, the starting third baseman for that squad. 1-0 from Hare. It's down low, 2 balls, no strikes to the Tiger. So Rowdy Jordan gets a lead at second, Hoffer at first. Edward Julian went 4 for 6 at the College World Series during 2019. And in game 1, he went 3 for 5 with a home run in 3 RBIs. He was almost the entirety of the Auburn offense in that Mississippi State contest. 2-0. Good heater right at the bottom of the zone. It's 2-1. And as a whole in postseason play, Julian hit .392. He was 11 for 28, 2 long balls, 7 runs batted in. His only hitless games were against Georgia Tech in a regional and against UNC in one of 3 games of a super regional. The 2-1. Checks his swing and taps it right back to the mound. Hare fields cleanly, underhands to first. That'll end the inning. So 2 left stranded for Hyannis in the top of the first, and Whitey will get their first licks at the plate. For Hyannis, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on. We'll go to the bottom of the first when we come back. Tyler Madison set to take the mound on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Wyatt Young, Noah Campbell, Austin Wells, the 3 set to come to the plate. Same top third of the order as last night for Whitey. As Young, the left-handed hitting shortstop out of Pepperdine, is set to dig in against the right-hander Tyler Madison. Madison, his 3rd official start. He's had 1 unofficial one as well. Got called due to rain as he rocks and fires the first pitch out of the windup, foul back. So in those 3 starts for Madison, thrown 9 1/3 innings, a 3.85 ERA, hasn't walked anybody. He struck out 8. Gets the sign, throws those hands above his head, and he'll come home. Wyatt push bunts up in the air. In comes Jackson Olsen, drops in front of him. Young's going to beat it out without a throw. A perfectly placed bunt from the leadoff man, Wyatt Young, drops right in front of Jackson Olsen at second base, right over Tyler Madison on the mound, and Whitey records their first hit of the night.
Well, never mind the placement of the bunt. How about the speed down the line? Like lightning, Young went down that first base line. He finds himself aboard at first. He pushed the bunt straight up over the head of Madison on the mound, like you mentioned, and it was just an impossible play for Olsen to come all the way back from the lip of the outfield grass to try and make a throw.
Noah Campbell now the hitter. But absolutely, Brendan, Wyatt Young flashing some blazing speed down the line there. That'll force Madison to work into the stretch. They'll do so very quickly. First offering, Campbell slaps one the other way, falls in front of Trevor Hauver. That's a base hit. Young moves down to second. Campbell up at first, and just like that, 2 pitches in, 2 hits for the Red Sox.
Now this YD team who put up 13 runs last night, wasting absolutely no time going after Tyler Madison. Noah Campbell took an outside fastball, didn't try and do too much, just poked it to left.
So this top third of the YD lineup is deadly. And maybe no one more deadly on the Cape than the man stepping into the plate right now. Austin Wells. He's already made his mark on Hyannis. A 3-run blast the opposite way back in the top of the first last night. Pitch from Madison, swings away, a weak wave and a miss. It's 0-1. Wells hitting .328 coming into the contest. 5 home runs. That leads the Cape by 2. As well as 15 RBIs. That's tied for first along with Jamal O'Gwyn of Chatham and Nick Gonzalez of Cotuit. Madison peeks at the runner, fires home, puts one in the dirt. Hackenberg blocks it cleanly. It's 1-1. So the rest of the YD lineup tonight, after Wells, Riley King hitting 4th, Jack Wold in the 5 spot, Brad Beasley hitting 6th, and the final third, Jake Palmer, Noah Cardenas, and Gavin Dugas. Madison's going to step off the mound, steps all the way behind and looks out at his shortstop, Anthony Servideo. 1-1 count to the hitter, Wells. Madison gives him a long look in, that ball tucked behind his back. He now sets at the belt, gives a couple peeks over to second, fires home, another weak wave, and he goes around strike 2. Checked his swing a little bit on it, but went too far around to hold up. So Tyler Madison in need of a big out. Gives Hackenberg, his catcher, a long look. Works from the first base side. 1-2. Fouled straight back. Hyannis defense tonight. Left to right in the outfield, Trevor Hoover, Bryce Teodosio, Rowdy Jordan. And left to right in the infield, Edward Julian, Anthony Servideo, Jackson Olson, and Jared DeSantelo. The Clemson Tiger, Adam Hackenberg behind the plate, and the Bryant right-hander Tyler Madison up on the mound. Wells, who hails from the University of Arizona, stands straight up from the left side. Knees slightly bent with the bat above his left shoulder, moving slightly up and down. 1-2, ground ball right side. That's going to get through the 3-4 hole, a base hit. Young around third, he's cruising home. No throw from Rowdy Jordan, and he slides in safely. It's an RBI single from Austin Wells. He is scorching hot, and it's 1-0 YD in the bottom of the first inning.
And this offense is absolutely relentless. Another fastball in the outer half of the plate. Madison tried to sneak it by back door, but Wells was not letting that happen. Poked one just into right field. It was a slow ground ball, but does the job to score Young, no problem from second base.
So Madison issues his first run. It'll now be Riley King out of the University of Georgia. Edward Julian, the third baseman, starting to come in on the grass at third. He squares to bunt, pushes it down foul down the first baseline. So Wyatt Young's already dropped a bunt here in the bottom of the first. He did that successfully, popping it over the head of Madison in front of Olson at second. And the right-handed hitting third baseman Riley King just tried one down the first baseline, but couldn't get enough of it to keep it fair. So Madison checks the runner, set at the belt, the 0-1, right at the bottom of the zone, 0-2. So Tyler made 15 starts in his sophomore year at Bryant. 9-1 with a 3.47 ERA. Walked 30, struck out 67. Got a solid fastball, low to mid-90s. Will also mix up a changeup and a curve. He takes a breath, the 0-2. Swing and a miss at the top of the zone, strike 3. Madison records strikeout number 1 and retires the first man of the bottom of the first.
Batting fifth, the first baseman.
That sends up Jack Wold. Madison pumped that fastball in pretty well, and it just overpowered the Georgia Bulldog, Riley King. So Jack Wold looking to help out his pitcher and college teammate Ryan Hare. Wold hails from UNLV. Another left-handed hitter for the YD Red Sox. Madison first offering. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball in the dirt. Wold, one of 4 natural lefties in the lineup. 5 total if you include Noah Campbell. He's a switch hitter. But he's hitting from the left side for now against the righty Madison. Infield back. Olson was shaded towards second. Now he's a little bit more back toward his original spot. Madison's fastball right at the knees, 0-2. So Wold will step out of the box, flip the bat at Madison once. Now he pinwheels it around the zone a couple times. Wind blowing out toward left center. 0-2. Ground ball right back to Madison on the mound. Fires to Servideo for one. Relay to first. Double play. 1-6-3 go the Harbor Hawks as Tyler Madison helps himself out on the mound. Fields one going to his left. Fires to Servideo at second for one. And a nice turn to first for the double play. So the 1-6-3 twin killing ends the bottom of the first. And Wide East scores just one. For the Red Sox in the inning, 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, and 1 left on. We'll go to the top of the second when we come back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. The Harbor Hawks send up Jared DeSantolo, Jackson Olsen, and Bryce Teodosio, with 6, 7, 8 in the lineup, to the plate for the top of the second inning, with the right-hander Ryan Hare back on the mound for the Red Sox. He faced 5 batters in the top of the first, didn't give up a run. Pitch to DeSantolo, ripped up the middle for a base hit. Hare had to duck out of the way a little bit, but Jared stands at first base with a leadoff hit to begin the top of the second.
Well, there goes the hottest hitter in the Harbor Hawk lineup again. DeSantolo wasting absolutely no time as Hyannis finds himself trailing 1-0 on the scoreboard, not messing around, trying to claw back into it. And that's the guy you want up at the plate to try and jumpstart something.
That'll segue things to Jackson Olsen. Jared DeSantolo, who's playing first base tonight, gets a very short lead at first. Hare back to the stretch the offering. Olsen shows a quick bunt, pulls back, and it's called a strike. For DeSantolo, that was his 14th hit of the summer. One of them has gone for a double. The other 13 have been base hits, but he's really hit the ball pretty hard ever since entering the elbow of Massachusetts. Hare gives him a quick look, fires home. It's up and away, count levels. Olsen didn't get the start last night, but he comes into the day hitting .275, and he's really been finding his stroke as of late. He's riding a 3-game hitting streak. Base knocks in 4 of his last 5 contests. 1-1 from Hare. Swing and a high pop-up, deep right field. Going back, Palmer still going, just in front of the wall, and he's going to put it away. DeSantolo retreats back to first, but Jackson Olsen gives one a ride out to right center. Just got a little bit under it, and there's one down.
And that's, again, the second time that Olsen has really squared one up and sent it to a deep part of the ballpark. We saw it in Orleans a couple nights ago. He put an absolute charge into one with the bases loaded, and it wound up getting Orleans out of the inning. This time, just couldn't quite get enough of it to get it over the fence here at Red Wilson.
So that brings up Teodosio. The 8-9 hitters in the Hyannis lineup, both Clemson Tigers. Bryce from the right side. Righty Hare fires, swinging a ground ball through the 5-6 gap on the left side. There's a base hit. DeSantolo down to second, Teodosio at first. And Bryce, who's getting his first start since a 2-hit performance, picks right up, back up where he left off.
The catcher from Clemson University.
And he's got to be feeling good, Bryce, down at first base right now. He puts on some shows and batting practices day in and day out. So when that translates over to the game, got to feel good for him, especially moving a runner into scoring position.
So Adam Hackenberg now the hitter. He's been one of the more consistent bats in the Hyannis lineup. Number 9 hitter in the order wiggles his bat in the right side of the box, swings and pops one up right behind home plate. The catcher Cardenas giving chase, loses the mask, settles under it and makes the grab on the backhand for the second out of the inning. So Hackenberg retired on a pop-up to second, and it'll flip the lineup back to the top for Anthony Servideo with 2 on and 2 gone.
From the University of Mississippi, number 13, Anthony.
Servideo 0 for 1 today, grounded out to second back in the top of the first. Anthony with 1 RBI on the year, looking to pick up number 2 as DeSantolo gets a couple steps of a lead at second. Wyatt Young creeping in on him, playing way up the middle. Pitch from the righty Hare. Breaking ball, and it hits the outside corner, 0-1. 1-0 YD in the top of the second inning. And Austin Wells' RBI single scored the shortstop Young. And that's the 1 tally on the board for the hometown Red Sox. Hare comes set at the belt, checks DeSantolo at second, fires home. Good off speed, but misses down and away. And Jackson Olsen, who recorded the first out of the inning, like Brendan talked about, was just a few feet away from a long ball out to right field, but just not quite enough mustard on it. Pitch to Servideo, up high, it's 2 balls, 1 strike. And Jackson talked about that earlier today, referring to that ball he hit back in Orleans as well, saying, man, almost any other ballpark here, that gets out. Because he said it felt really good off the bat, and how could it not? But talking about Orleans, which is 434 feet to center field, a lot different than the 352 here at Red Wilson. 2-1, it's down low. Servideo works himself into a big hitter's count at 3-1. So Olsen gave one an absolute ride out at Eldridge Park 2 nights ago. And he just gets under one here at Yarmouth Red Wilson Field. But Jackson with 1 home run in his school season, still looking for his first on the Cape as the pitch to Servideo hits the bottom of the zone and the count runs to 3-2 with 2 down.
And if you take that ball that Olsen hit at Eldridge Park here at Red Wilson, he might put one through a window of those houses that resides beyond the batter's eye in center.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, 352 to center field at Red Wilson. There isn't an official sign, but you ask any YD person, they'll tell you. Runners take off, pitch up high, and he loses Servideo. So Anthony flips his ankle guard back toward the Hyannis dugout, and that'll juice the bases for Rowdy Jordan.
University, number 7, Rowdy Jordan.
Jordan walked in his first at bat. And Rowdy's worked his fair share of walks so far here in 2019 for the Harbor Hawks. In fact, that was his 5th. He picked up his first hit last night. And now looking for another productive at bat with Hyannis trailing by 1 in the top of the second frame. Hare, the UNLV right-hander, comes set, kicks and delivers home. Chopper out in front of the mound. That's going to be ruled a fair ball as Cardenas steps on the plate, and that ends the inning. So Rowdy Jordan squiggles one off the end of the bat, about a 2-footer out in front of home plate. Cardenas runs out, picks it up with his bare hand, and just steps on the dish to end the top of the second. So Hyannis strands the bases loaded. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 3 left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the second when we return. It's YD 1, Hyannis nothing on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Center fielder,
Brad Beasley, the Cal Poly center fielder, steps to the plate for the bottom of the second, as the Bryant right-hander Tyler Madison's back on the mound for inning number 2. First pitch fastball right on the outside corner, good for a strike. But Madison pumps in a good heater to the Cal Poly product Beasley. Yesterday, he was 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs against Hyannis out at McKeon Park. 0-1 from Madison, chopped toward third. Julian moves to his right on the backhand, makes the play, throws across, and there's one down. So Edward Julian, pretty easy play, just takes one step to his right, fields the ball right at the chest level on the backhand, and throws across the diamond for the first out of the bottom of the second.
Well, they nicknamed the position third base the hot corner. That time, a relatively easier play for Jordan as he had to move a couple steps toward the line. And a nice strong throw over to DeSantelo at first.
Jake Palmer's now the hitter. Julian, the third baseman who just made the play, in on the infield grass. Palmer stands straight up from the left-handed side of the box, flips the bat up and down on his left shoulder, and watch an off-speed down. So Madison's allowed 1 earned run so far here through an inning and a third of work. But here's a kid who absolutely cruised through the final 2 months of his season at Bryant. In his final 2 months, he didn't allow more than 3 earned runs in any start. He rocks and deals the 1-0. Fastball runs away. Getting back to his school ball, the last time he did so was March 15th of 2019. He allowed 6 earned in 5 2/3 against Richmond. That game on the road, and he pitching here on the road for the 3rd time in 3 tries in 2019 for Hyannis as a fastball runs up high. It's 3-0. So Madison gave up 3 earned in his last start against the Harwich Mariners out at White House Field. So back when that occurred, June the 28th, first time in over 3 months he'd allowed 3 earned. Pitch good for a strike, it's 3-1. Or rather, the trend stays intact as he allowed exactly 3 earned. So he still hasn't allowed over that since that March 15th date at Richmond. He throws the arms above his head, comes home, ground ball left side through the hole, that's a base hit. Whitey picks up their 4th hit of the night as Jake Palmer slaps one the other way, and he's aboard at first with 1 out.
the catcher from UCLA.
Well, Palmer again, just
number
chopping
8,
one opposite
Noah
field and into left. Palmer went in to scoop it up, but YD's a team that usually flashes their power. They haven't done so tonight. It's been single, single, and more singles. So a team that's trying to play some small ball, they've seen a couple of bunts Hyannis has on the field, so YD put something else to the table tonight.
So Noah Cardenas out of UCLA now stands in. He appeared last night, didn't record an official at-bat, but did drive in a run. Runner takes off, pitch to Cardenas, slapped foul down the right side. So a hit and run put on by Whitey's manager, Scott Pickler. And Pickler, a guy with mounds of success up here on the Cape League. It's just announced over the PA between innings that no manager in the history of the league has won more titles than Scott Pickler with 6. And nobody's won more playoff games than him either. Madison the offering, runner takes off again, down low, double clutch by Hackenberg, throw to second, tag applied late by Servideo. So Jake Palmer swipes a bag, he slides in safely at second, and YD puts their first runner at the bottom of the frame in scoring position. So Palmer got a good jump. Hackenberg took a second to corral it into his right hand, so he double clutched as a result. Throw got down there just a little bit late. For Palmer, that's his second swipe bag of the summer. Madison works with a 1-1 count. 1-0 YD the score. Comes home, breaking ball down, it's 2-1. But once again for Madison, making his 3rd start on the road. So all of his official ones coming on the road. Of course, the unofficial one against Falmouth took place at McKeon Park before it was cut short due to rain. 2-1. Fastball down. 3 balls, 1 strike to the UCLA Bruin, Noah Cardenas. So Madison threw at Falmouth once. That his strongest start to date on the summer. Gave up the 1 earned run on 2 hits didn't walk anyone, and struck out 6. And one of those 2 hits coming on the first pitch of the game on a Hayden Cantrell leadoff home run. Pitch to Cardenas, swing and a miss at a fastball at the bottom of the zone. It's 3-2. Palmer the runner at second. UC Irvine Products singled the other way, then stole a bag. There's 1 out. Beasley grounded out to lead off the inning. Red Sox lead by 1, up to the plate for their second time. Madison nods his head at the catcher Hackenberg, sets, fires the 3-2, foul back on the ground. Now Cardenas hitting .333, but it's been a small sample size. Another guy that came in late for YD. He's 5 for his first 15, however, with a pair of RBIs. So he's been effective in the handful of starts that he's made so far. He slowly digs his way back in. Taps the inside of the plate once. And his hands are set just in front of his right shoulder. 3-2. Fouled back on a line, and it gets into the parking lot at Red Wilson. So Cardenas will take a loop around home plate umpire Jeff Merzel. He's going to reset for just a minute. Now Cardenas has shown a hot bat so far with the Red Sox, but he's known as an elite defender. He didn't commit an error all season behind the plate for the Bruins, and a team that was ranked the top team in the country in the regular season. 3-2 fastball misses away, and he loses the catcher Noah Cardenas to a 1-out walk. And just like that, Brendan, that's the first walk Madison's issued all summer. Worked it to a full count, but that fastball ran just a little bit away.
And Cardenas made Madison work in that at-bat, and he earned that free pass that time. Madison threw a lot of pitches in that at-bat. Cardenas fouled off a couple tough ones, sent one into the parking lot, a couple down and away fastballs he sent straight back.
So now the number 9 hitter, Gavin Dugas out of LSU, steps in from the right side. There's 2 on, 1 down. Madison fires home. Fastball good for a strike on the outer black. So Beasley grounded out. Palmer at first after the single. And then Stoll second. So he stands 180 feet away. Cardenas the runner at first after drawing the walk. Madison fires a breaking ball. It's up high. So Cardenas getting the start behind the plate for YD tonight. And once again, a plus-plus defender at the catcher's position. Was an all Pac-12 defensive honorable mention in his freshman year in 2019. Madison works with a 1-1 count. YD leading 1-0. Pitch. Breaking ball low and away. Couldn't just couldn't spot that one up. And the count runs to 2-1. Already 7 hits combined between the two teams. Hyannis with 3 in their first 2 tries at the plate. YD with 3 in the first, 1 here in the second. Madison the stretch, sets at the belt, comes home. Swinging a number foul back toward the YD dugout on the third base side. Madison looking for strikeout number 2. He struck out 6 in his first start of the summer against Falmouth once again. Struck out a pair in 4 1/3 innings against Harwich. He tucks that glove in on his front shoulder, now ready, fires home the 2-2, it's upstairs. Works his second straight full count. He lost Cardenas on 1 to a 1-out walk. And now Gavin Dugas, the LSU Tiger, who comes into the day hitting just .091, works a full count. So Madison takes a breath, comes set. Full count offering. Ground ball right at the shortstop. Servideo fields cleanly, flips to second for 1, relay to first. Not in time, and Dugas beats it out. So a 6-4 fielder's choice put on by the second baseman Dugas. That keeps the inning alive, putting runners on the corners, and it'll flip things back to the top for Wyatt Young. Servideo had to take a step or 2 to his right. He made the play cleanly right at about the neck level and had an easy flip to Jackson Olsen at second, but the turn just not in time to complete the double play. As a result, now they're going to have to deal with Wyatt Young. And here's a guy who came into today leading the entire Cape League in batting average. 370 coming into today's play. And with that bunt single in the bottom of the first inning, gone up to 391. Pitch, ground ball at the first baseman, diving stop, can't make it by the first baseman. DeSantalo gets into right field. Palmer comes home to score on the play, going first to third. The runner, Gavin Dugas, and a 2-out RBI single for Wyatt Young makes it 2-0 YD.
Well, this guy is just a Harbor Hawk killer. I mean, he has been an on-base machine in these couple games against Hyannis, aboard for the second time in as many at-bats tonight, and moving another runner up into scoring position at third base.
So that'll bring up Noah Campbell. He singled in his first at-bat. Hit a line drive right in front of Trevor Hoover in left field. Dugas stands at third. Wyatt Young at first as Madison throws over. Tag applied by DeSantalo, not in time. Jared gave a good effort on the last play. Backhanded dive, moving to his right, but the ball just got under his glove. And as a result, it skipped into right field, allowing Palmer to score from third. Another pickoff move from Madison, but not in time as Wyatt Young's back safely again. And once again, the top third of this YD lineup has been absolutely deadly here in 2019. Madison the stretch and fires to Campbell. Ground ball foul on the right side. Young leading the Cape League in batting average. In fact, with that hit now, he's up above 400. So Young sits at 404. Campbell on the summer hitting 333. Wells hitting 359. Madison's 0-1. Good breaking ball, chopped right back to him on the mound, cuts off some distance, underhands to first. That'll end the inning. YD tacks on another, courtesy of a Wyatt Young RBI single through the right side, and YD leads by 2 after 2 frames. For the Red Sox, no run, or 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and they leave a pair on. So we'll go to the top of the third when we come back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Top of the third inning here from Wed Wilson Field. Trevor Hoover, Hunter Goodman, and Edward Julian set to go for Hyannis. The YD Red Sox have put up 1 run in each of the first 2 frames. They lead it by a score of 2-0. They've racked up 5 hits to Hyannis's 3. Meanwhile, for the Harbor Hawks, as Trevor Hoover digs in from the left side, they've already left 5 men on base. Rowdy Jordan bounced out to the catcher Cardenas behind the plate. First pitch to Trevor, a breaking ball that missed away. Once again, an absolutely beautiful day for baseball here in South Yarmouth. And a happy Independence Day to you all. Hopper waits the 1-0. Hare winds and fires another breaking ball. Tried to sneak one back door. It missed outside. The count 2-0. On Trevor tonight, he's 1 for 1. Responsible for third of the hits on the board for Hyannis. There's 2-0. Fastball up high and away. So Hopper not only has been on base by way of a single tonight, but he's been a walks machine over the course of the last couple of games. Racked up 5 in the last 2. Picked up 1 last night and 4 the night before that in Orleans. Here's the 3-0. Fastball, a called strike at the knees. A bit low, but a nice frame from Cardenas. And it gives Hare the call, some new life for the pitcher on the hill, 3-1, trying to battle back. Hyannis trying to pick up a road win in this home-and-home series with the YD Red Sox. Hare into the windup, the slow kick, the 3-1. Fouled off to the left, over the YD dugout, out of play. So the count swells full as Trevor adjusts the batting gloves. If you look around the crowd here at YD tonight, a lot of red, white, and blue. And that's not just because that is the home team colors, but 4th of July, a lot of fans very festive here tonight. The payoff pitch from Hare, cut on and sent in the air to left field. Ranging in is Wells. Back is the shortstop Young, but it's going to be Wells to make the grab. And Hopper's down for out number 1.
Well, you're absolutely right that Hopper's worked a lot of good counts this summer. Another guy with 12 walks, much like Jared DeSantolo. But right there for Hopper, just skies one up to left field, a pretty easy play for Wells.
So here's Hunter Goodman trying to get his night going, batting from the right side of the Memphis Tiger. Came into tonight with a 203 average. First pitch from Hare, a breaking ball, a called strike down and away. Now Hunter batting cleanup and DHing tonight for Chad Yasman. Hyannis in search of their 4th win in 18 tries. Goodman wiggles the bat above the right shoulder. Awaits Hare's 0-1. Here it is. Fastball chopper left side foul. So Hare receives a new baseball. As Lyle touched upon a bit earlier, a lot of foul ground here at YD. Of course, Red Wilson Field, no dimensions are labeled on the walls, but 352 to dead center. And that, of course, benefits the hitter at the plate, Hunter Goodman, who's got some light tower power. Hare's 0-2. Breaking ball, that one into deep center field. Sending back Beasley. He can only watch it go. Hunter Goodman right on cue, a home run, and puts Hyannis on the board. It's 2-1. Hunter Goodman sends one into orbit to deep center, and Beasley knew it right off the bat. He slowed up before he reached the fence and just watch it clank off of the trees out there, and Goodman gets a helmet tap from Edward Julian on the way by. It's 2-1.
Well, we talked about the short dimensions in center field, but that one gets out pretty much anywhere. Hunter Goodman absolutely obliterated that ball deep into the trees over the center field wall, and he punches his 3rd home run of the summer. That was a no-doubter.
So Hunter Goodman picks up his 3rd home run of the summer and his 14th RBI. And in steps Edward Julian. First pitch from Hare, big cut and a miss. Almost came out of his shoes on a fastball down and in. It's 0-1. So Goodman with a majestic blast out to center field to get the scoring started for Hyannis tonight. Their 4th hit of the evening. And Edward Julian kind of joining in on the festivities. 0-1 breaking ball misses. That levels the ball into strike. For YD, picked up points 22 and 23 last night with the win at McKeon Park. They still sit 3rd in the Eastern Division. They're tied with the Chatham Anglers. Julian awaits the 1-1. Here it comes. Breaking ball, that's right down central for strike 2. So Hyannis suffered a 13-1 defeat last night, but trying to hang tough with the hometown Red Sox tonight. Hare into his motion, the 1-2 pitch. Fastball high and away. Jared DeSantolo loosening up in the on-deck area, taking some big practice cuts. Julian trying to battle here with 2 strikes. The pitch from Hare. Fastball down, the count runs full. And this Hyannis team comes in bottom of the league in most rankings, but 6th in walks. So they're middle of the pack in that category. They've got 57 on the season. And part of that can be attributed to a couple nights ago in Orleans where they racked up double digits. 3-2. Chopped foul straight back. Julian on top of a fastball. Edwards 0 for 1 tonight. He bounced back to Hare. That came back in the 1st inning. That was to end things. But steps back in here with a full count. Nobody on, 1 down. Hyannis half of the 3rd inning. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball down, and he lost him. So Julian finds himself aboard. That's the 2nd walk surrendered by Hare in his outing tonight, and that'll transition things to the left-handed bat of DeSantolo.
Yeah, and a nice at-bat work by Edward Julian. Goes to the full count and just watches one down in the dirt, doesn't chase after it. That's now 2 straight base runners to reach for Hyannis.
So here's DeSantelo trying to get the bat cranking again. He was stranded at third back in the second inning as part of a bases-loaded situation that the YD Red Sox were able to escape. But Hyannis striking for one on the Hunter Goodman home run here in the third already and threatening for more. First pitch to Jared, waving a miss at a breaking ball. And for Jared, he's been moved up and down in the lineup. Started the season towards the bottom in the 7-8 hole, but now moved up. He's in the 6th spot tonight, but he's been featured in the cleanup spot, and he's been moved around defensively as well. Played third base, but resides at first tonight. There out of the stretch of pause. Now look back to first. Back standing is Edward Julian. So DeSantelo's versatility has been shown off on quite a few fronts for manager Chad Gassman. There's a 1. Breaking ball back up the middle and through into center field. That's going to be a base hit. So Edward Julian moving up 90 feet to second base. DeSantelo pulls up at first. He's got his second hit of the night. And that gives things to Jackson Olsen with 1 down and 2 on.
From the University of Hartford.
Well, Jared DeSantelo once again just continues to find a way to pick up hit after hit after hit. Shoots one past the mound, right up the middle. Neither the second baseman, Dugas, or the shortstop, Young, had much of a play at it. It just skips into center field.
Well, Jared's on an even 15 hits on the summer. And here's Jackson Olsen, another left-handed bat in this Hyannis order. Working against the right-hander Ryan Hare. First pitch from him. Fastball foul tipped and it trickles toward the YD dugout off to the left.
Lawrence, would you please report to the press box?
Well, Lyle, we talked a bit yesterday about 4th of July festivities. And you said that you were going to try and catch a parade. Did you end up catching one?
I did not end up catching a parade. There's stuff going on this morning, but hey, festivities are still in full tact here with a beautiful day for a baseball game.
Absolutely. As Olsen awaits 0-1, it's a fastball in for a strike, nothing in 2.
But I mean, being here on Cape Cod, you go pretty much anywhere on the elbow of Massachusetts, and there'll be fireworks tonight, so it'd be pretty hard not to catch some fireworks, right?
Absolutely not. That's where I'm headed after this game is over. But right now, Hyannis got some work to do. They're locked in. Olsen's with an 0-2 count. Fastball runs wide. Well, there were parades this morning, one in Hyannis, one in Centerville, and one in Osterville. These Harbor Hawks were featured at a couple of them. Rigsby Mosley was at one. He was talking about it in the dugout during batting practice today, how much of a fun time he had. Of course, all across Cape Cod, 4th of July, an absolute spectacle. A 1-2 to Olsen. Fastball, he chops at it, but sends it foul. Just to the left of the home plate area, beside the right-handed batter's box, and the count stays put. These Hyannis bats have been aggressive here tonight. 1 run on 5 hits, 2 runs on 5 hits for the hometown YD Red Sox. Olsen trying to hang tough with 2 strikes. He's got a man in scoring position. That's Edward Julian. And Jared DeSantelo aboard at first after back-to-back singles. Here's the 1-2. Fastball, a chopper up the right field line. And it's going to be ruled foul just to the left of the batter's box as Olsen will retreat back and grab the piece of lumber. It's been a couple of choppers around the home plate area. A bit of confusion for the batters in the box. Olsen went a few steps up the first base line, but retreats back. Olsen waves the bat out toward Ryan Hare as he toes the rubber again. Stares down at Cardenas for a sign. A breath on the hill and a look toward Julian at second. 2 aboard, 1 down, the 1-2 pitch. Fastball, that one ripped into center field, sending Beasley back a couple steps. He's got it lined up and will make the grab. No tag from Julian at second. So 2 down now for Bryce Teodosio with 2 on.
Well, there it is again. That's 2 balls that Jackson squared up pretty well so far this evening. He got way under, or just not way under one, just a little bit under one in the top of the second, sending Palmer all the way back in front of the fence. And right there, hits one right on the screws to pretty deep center. Sent Beasley back, but he made the catch as well. So Jackson has hit 2 balls really hard today, just finding some gloves of the YD defense.
So here's the Clemson right-handed outfielder Bryce Teodosio stepping in. He's 1 for 1 tonight. He has a base knock. That went through to left field. That was back in the second inning. First pitch from Hare, fastball low and away, chested up by the catcher Cardenas behind the dish. And Bryce said during his batting practice session today, he feels good. And how could you not feel good? It's the 4th of July, Independence Day. Hyannis looking for some fireworks of their own. They've struck for one here in this lengthy third inning, but the right-hander for the Red Sox on the hill trying to wiggle out of it. Hyannis with a couple runners aboard. Here's the 1-0 to Teodosio. Fastball just out in front of it, sends it way down the left field line, ranging over Wells into foul ground. He will make the grab by the fence. Austin Wells covered a country mile to go get that one as Teodosio sent the fastball way down the left field line, and that will end the Hyannis half of the third. But they cut the Red Sox 2-0 lead in half. It's 2-1 on the home run from Hunter Goodman. We get to the bottom of the inning when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Tyler Madison back to the hill for Hyannis in the bottom of the third inning. And we've got ourselves a good game here on Independence Day. It's 2-1, the YD Red Sox out in front. The right-hander out of Bryant toes the slab again. Austin Wells, Riley King, and Jack Woldzu up. 2-1 ball game. Hunter Goodman responsible for cutting the YD lead in half as Madison pumps in a fastball low, 1-0. 1-0. Wells tonight picked up an RBI single right off the bat. That was in the first inning. That got the scoring underway for these Red Sox tonight. Madison wides and deals. Another 1-0 pitch. That's in for a strike up and away. Stuffed one at the top part of the zone to even the count. Well, Austin Wells, we know this guy's got some power as well at the top of this YD order. He got the better of Kyle Murphy last night for a 3-run shot. 1-1 breaking ball misses down. And he sent one opposite field at McKeon Park over Trevor Hopper and over the wall to put YD up 3-0 in the first inning last night. Madison shrugs the shoulders into the windup. Here's a 2-1. Fastball just up and away. Got to pick out that top part of the zone again. Instead, it's 3-1. Madison's only surrendered one walk tonight. Roxon fires a 3-1. Wells swings and fouls it away off to the left. Another full count for Madison. Again, coming into his outing tonight, a 3.85 ERA, but struck out 8 and didn't walk anybody. He's only allowed one walk. Working into his third start of the season, the 3-2. Cut and a miss, strike 3. And there's that big, heavy fastball for Madison. Just blows it by the left fielder. And that'll bring up Riley King with one away.
And there's his second strikeout. And overpowering Austin Wells. That's not something easy to do, but Madison just pinpoints one on the outer half of the plate. He gets Wells chasing. Really, really good fastball to end that at bat.
Well, Wells, a guy who's up over 300. Here's another over 300 hitter. This is Riley King. Steps in from the right side and takes a breaking ball called strike on the inside corner. So King's 0 for 1. He was the first strikeout victim for Madison tonight. A 1. Fastball chopped off the inside part of the leg as it trickles foul, 0-2. Hyannis in field straight up, nobody on, 1 out. Tyler Madison got King where he wants him here in an 0-2 count, looking for back-to-back strikeouts into the windup and the pitch. Fastball high. Couldn't get him to go out of the zone to get that one. So the count 1-2 for the Bryant Bulldog. Again, quickly, here's the pitch. Breaking ball down, stopped by Hackenberg as it rolls just to his left. 2-2 now to King. And last night for Riley at the dish, went 2 for 6. Picked up a couple base knocks and what was a boatload of hits for the YD Red Sox as he sends a 2-2 pitch on the ground. Played on the hop, nicely scooped by Olson to first in time. What a play. That was a hot shot off the bat of Riley King, and Olson played it on the short hop into the glove and made the correct throw over to DeSantolo in plenty of time.
And that's a really nice play from Olson, and he made that look even easier than it should have been, although pretty tough play to begin with. Moves just a step back a little bit to his left. So I was going to play it on the in-between hop, but just gave it a front-hand pick almost like a first baseman. Made a strong throw to first.
So here's the left-handed hitting Jack Wold. Cuts and misses through a low fastball. It's 0-1. Well, Jackson Olson has seen time at shortstop this season and a couple games at third base since substitution for Jared DeSantolo, who's moved over to first tonight. 1 for Madison. Fastball cut on and sent off to the left out of play once again over by the trees. Olson making a fine play on the right side of the infield there for out number 2, and Madison quickly just 1 strike away from working out of the third. Right-hander into his motion, the pitch. Fastball in there, strike 3 called. He got him looking. Tyler Madison, how about it? A clean third inning, picks up a couple of strikeouts, and YD goes down in order. It's still 2-1. Hyannis coming back to the dish when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. The Hyannis bats back to the top of the 4th inning, trying to cut this deficit to 0. The YD Red Sox arm Ryan Hare back to the hill, and his YD Red Sox on top 2-1 from Red Wilson Field here in South Yarmouth on Independence Day. Adam Hackenberg, Anthony Servideo, and Rowdy Jordan due up against the right-hander from UNLV. First pitch of the inning, breaking ball, a called strike on the inner half. Well, Hackenberg set one up the elevator shaft his first time at the plate. Cardenas ranged back, lost the mask, and made the play to retire Hackenberg. Cut and a miss on another breaking ball down and away. Hare dropped one out of the zone, got Hackenberg to offer at it. So the count quickly 0-2. Both starters with a very quick pace to him. Hare already set to go on the mound. Hackenberg had to slow him down outside the box. The 0-2 is down and away. Trying to get him with back-to-back breaking balls. Hackenberg wisely laying off. The count's 1-2. So Adam coming into tonight, a .292 hitter on the season. Awaits the 1-2 from Hare. Here it comes in the dirt. Trying to pump a fastball in at the bottom of the zone. Instead, the count evens. These Hyannis bats trying to pick up where they left off in the couple of games against Catuit and Orleans as a 2-2 was into Hackenberg. He ropes it foul off the YD fencing. The count stays put 2-2 as Adam adjusts the batting gloves just outside the box. He steps back in with a 2-strike count against Ryan Hare. And now time is called at the plate as Adam wants to take some time out. Hare's got an extremely quick pace to him. He gets the baseball. He's on the rubber. He's ready to go. Into the windup to 2-2. Breaking ball called strike 3 on the inside corner. So a good spot picked out from the right-hander that time. He fans Hackenberg for the first out here in the fourth. So Adams 0 for 2, and that'll turn up the lineup. Turn the lineup card back to Anthony Servideo at the top.
You know, Hare just froze him right there with some off speed. Hackenberg just walks back to the dugout for the first out. Servideo, who reached base back in his last at bat, looking to pick up a hit to begin the top of the fourth.
Trying to jumpstart this Hyannis offense as he watches the breaking ball down and away. So 2-1 our score. The YD Red Sox out in front here at home at Red Wilson Field tonight. Both teams have racked up 5 hits, and neither side has committed an error. A 1-0. Breaking ball cut and a miss from Servideo. Top hand came off the bat. The count pulls even at 1-1. And Anthony's a guy who's inserted at the top of the lineup for Chad Gassman. He's hitting just over 100 at 105 coming into tonight. The 1-1. That's a breaking ball outside. Cardenas had to extend that left arm and catch it on the forehand. The count's 2-1. Mr. Video waves the bat. Hare into his motion. The next offering. That's up high. For the count 3-1. Hare's worked himself into a few counts where he's fallen behind. In the 3-ball count, he's worked into a couple of full. And this one 3-1 here to the leadoff man for Hyannis, Servideo. He's already walked once tonight. That was in his last plate appearance, as Lyle just mentioned. The 3-1 pitch. Fastball cut on and sent out of play. So the count again swells full 3-2 with one down, nobody on. This Hyannis offense is relentless at the plate. They'll make you work for some tough at-bats. Just haven't found a way to bring the runners home, especially tonight. They've left 7 on base to this point. The payoff pitch from Hare. Fastball, that's roped into right center, a base hit. Gets past the glove of Dugas as Servideo takes a wide turnaround first, but will stop there. So he's aboard with a 1-out single, and that sets the table for Rowdy Jordan.
The right fielder for Mississippi State.
And Servideo looked like he had that one really timed up. I mean, jumped out in front of that fastball in the inner part of the plate from Hare and just squares it up to right center field, picking up that base hit.
So now a meeting on the mound for Ryan Hare, the right-hander. Catcher Cardenas, as well as the rest of the infield, has joined him, and that is going to be it. So Scott Pickler takes the ball. He's going to call on another right-hander out of the bullpen. A pitching change here from Red Wilson. We'll have that for you when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
At the plate.
We bring it back to Red Wilson Field off the pitching change as Rowdy Jordan set to go as he digs into the left-handed batter's box. The new arm into the game for Yarmouth Dennis, the right-hander out of Northeastern University. It's Brendan Dufault, making his 5th appearance, his 4th out of the pen for the Red Sox this season. He's gone 5 1/3, struck out 5, walked 5 while giving up 5 hits and a 1.68 ERA. So he's been a really trustworthy arm out of this Yarmouth Dennis bullpen. And fires in a strike to Rowdy Jordan, 0-1. And the starter, Ryan Hare, not out of the woods just yet. The runner at first, Anthony Servideo, is still his responsibility. Hyannis trying to put something together here in the top half of the 4th inning. They trail 2-1. Dufault's 0-1. Cutting a miss from Servideo. Well behind a big fastball, it's 0-2. Now Jordan's been aboard once tonight. Walked and was stranded at second in the first. And hit that little nubber in front of the plate that ended the bases loaded threat in the 2nd inning. Dufault's 0-2. Roped down the left side, but foul well out of play over the bleachers. And a bit of an interesting setup here at Red Wilson as those bleachers extend beyond the YD dugout down the third baseline. There is no protective netting. There is just a line of chalk to signal where the field of play is cut off. But a lot of foul territory as the 0-2 comes in. A chopper straight back. Jordan just getting a piece of a lively fastball from Dufault. So he stays alive with 2 strikes with Trevor Hover waiting on deck. Hyannis trying to mount some sort of a threat here in the 4th inning with 1 on and 1 down. Right-hander set at the chest. A long pause, now his next 0-2. Breaking ball outside. So Jordan takes a step out of the box. Now he's back in. Dufault. Very deliberate pace. A little bit different from the starter Ryan Hare, who was on the rubber like clockwork. The 1-2. Runner goes for second. Jordan sends one on the ground toward the second baseman, Dugas. He's got it. He'll go the short way to first for the out. So 2 down as Jordan is retired, but advancing up 90 feet, Servideo into scoring position.
The left fielder.
That'll
from
give way to
Arizona
Trevor Hover
State
with 2 down.
University. Trevor
While
Hover.
Servideo taking off with the pitch, and Rowdy puts one on the ground just right at the second baseman Dugas, so avoids the double play and gives way to an RBI opportunity for Trevor Hover.
So Trevor in search of his 10th RBI of the season. Makes things a little bit more difficult for himself with 2 down, however. Servideo does possess some speed. So even a Sinai single will do the trick. First pitch, a breaking ball that misses away. We talked about the year that Dufault has had for Yarmouth Dennis. Made 4 appearances, this one his 5th out of the pen. He allowed just 1 hit at Brewster in his last appearance as a pickoff attempt at second is not in time. Servideo back head first. Walked 1 and struck out 1 in that appearance on June the 30th. That was a 5-2 Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox victory. Matter of fact, in his last 2 appearances, he's gone an inning and a third. Working here in the 4th inning at home at Red Wilson against these Hyannis Harborhawks. The 1-0 fastball misses down and in. So the count 2-0 is Servideo. Covered in dirt, retreats back to the second base bag. Hover pinwheels the bat toward the right-hander on the hill as he comes set. A look back toward Anthony at second, now the 2-0. Breaking ball at the knees, a called strike, it's 2-1. So Hyannis is now out hit YD on the scoreboard. They have 6 hits to YD's 5. But in the column just to the left, the one that really matters, YD has that advantage, it's 2-1. The Hover patiently waiting the 2-1 pitch, a fastball chopper right side toward the Hyannis dugout foul. We've already seen 1 long ball tonight. That was courtesy of Hunter Goodman in this Hyannis lineup. And Lyle, we talk about so many times how Trevor waiting for that power stroke to come around. He had the grand slam at Falmouth a couple of weeks ago. And that's got him going on the summer, but looking for another one here as a 2-2 pitch comes in. Fastball inside, jackknifed him a bit off the back of the plate. And the count runs full again, 3-2. So Servideo in scoring position out at second. He gathers a short lead. Young creeping in behind him toward the bag, not holding him on, however. Hopper awaits Dufault's payoff pitch. A pause, a couple looks back to second. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball outside, he walked him. So Hopper heads down to first, and that keeps the fourth inning alive for Hyannis for the time being.
Designated hitter from the
Now the man
University of
responsible
Memphis.
for all the Hyannis runs on the board, just the lone one that came back in the third inning, it's Hunter Goodman.
There's Trevor again, drawing more walks, just works a good count. Didn't quite get anything in his wheelhouse, so he let it go. His 13th base on balls of the summer.
He's gotten more free passes than he has balls to square up. So he's aboard at first base. At second, still Servideo. And Goodman looking for a repeat effort of his last at bat as he takes a fastball low and away. Goodman 1 for 2. Strikeout on the long ball and picked up an RBI in the process as well. He's got one out there for him, an RBI opportunity here in the fourth inning. He looks out toward Dufault on the hill as he comes set at the chest. A 1-0 pitch. Fastball, he swings and sends it in the air down the right field line, ranging back after it rolled toward the Hyannis dugout. And he can't make the play. That one just tailing at the last second away from the glove of Wold down the right field line out of play. The count pulls even to Goodman 1-1. Well, Island again, that foul territory really coming into play, taking its toll on some of these high flies. We already saw Cardenas make a nice play losing the mask a couple innings ago. Goodman with some new life. Foul territory playing in his favor. Default another check on Servideo, the 1-1. That one's ripped into right field, moving over the right fielder Palmer. He can't make the catch. That's going to fall for a base hit. Coming around to score is Anthony Servideo. He crosses the plate to tie the game 2-2. And it's the second RBI of the evening for Hunter Goodman to tie the ball game.
He is really starting to swing it. And that's now 4 straight starts for him where he's recorded an RBI. That, of course, dates back to that home run back in the third inning. But responsible for both runs on the Hyannis board so far today. That solo blast back in his last at-bat. And he just flips one the other way to bring home the runner Servideo from second. So Hunter Goodman really starting to find his stroke here.
And definitely a good sign from the Memphis bat in the middle part of this Hyannis lineup. Back-to-back plate appearances picking up a hit. And back-to-back plate appearances notching an RBI. Cardenas had emerged from behind the plate. He was giving some signals to the rest of his infield. Trevor Hopper went first to third on that single from Hunter Goodman. So he now stands 90 feet away from giving Hyannis the lead. But it's Edward Julian at the plate with 2 down. So Dufault has worked himself into a bit of trouble trying to escape it, just 1 out away from doing so. As that one gets to the backstop, Hopper's dashing for the plate. He's going to come in to score. So Edward Julian not even having to lift the bat off his shoulder, and Hyannis snatches the lead. It's 3-2.
And that one's just an errant throw or errant pitch from the right-hander. Hopper scored easily from third, and there's the first lead of the day for Hyannis.
So these Harbor Hawks putting up a tough fight here on the road at Red Wilson on Independence Day. They put up 1 in the third and now 2 in the fourth and still threatening. Edward Julian standing in with a 1-0 count. Default's next offering. Fastballs. Late swing from Julian as he fouls it back off the netting. So the count pulls even a ball into strike as he adjusts the helmet on top of his head. Hunter Goodman advanced up to second base on that pass ball. He's in scoring position. So Julian in an RBI spot. That would be his first of the summer if he can find a base knock. Default's 1-1. Breaking ball. Julian swings and sends a drive to deep left field. Wells going back to the wall, and it's gone. Or it's down and off the wall. But a run scores. That's Hunter Goodman. And cruising into second base, Edward Julian. So he does pick up the RBI nonetheless. Wells slowed up as he reached the wall and played it on a hop. So Julian cruised into second base. He picks up the RBI. Hyannis stretches the lead out to 4-2, and that'll turn things to Jared DeSantolo.
And Julian really squared that one up the other way. Got almost all of it just short of leaving the yard, and as a result, he puts in another run. So Hyannis a 3-spot here in the top of the 4th as Edward Julian picks up his second double in as many games.
Well, the Harbor Hawks lineup returning the favor to what YD put on last night at McKeon Park. They were just absolutely relentless, scoring in every frame but one as DeSantolo watched a breaking ball down and in. Well, Wells was shaded a bit toward the second base bag, playing the lefty shift just a bit, and now time is going to be called as Cardenas heads out to the mound, along with the YD Red Sox pitching coach. So the count 1-0 to DeSantolo as he steps out as time is called. And this is the Hyannis lineup that we saw late in the ball game against Orleans and late in the ball game against Catuit, where they erased a 5-run deficit and erased a 7-0 deficit, but they ultimately fell to Orleans 7-5. Of course, last night the 13-1 thumping, but it responded quite well here tonight.
And it's really good to see it happening fairly early in the ball game too. I mean, you look at the matchup against Orleans, they didn't start piling up runs till the 7th when they put up 3. Of course, they put up 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th. You look at the game against Catuit, they put up lone tallies in the 2nd, 6th, and 7th, but no multi-run innings until the 8th where they put up 5. So here they are in the 4th. Lead wasn't too far out of hand. It was only at 2-1, and they've put on 3 to pick themselves up at a 2-run advantage. So a really good sight to see. The offense is getting it going early.
The 1-0 to DeSantolo, fastball down and in. He skipped back off the plate just a bit. 2 balls, no strikes. Julian retreats back to the bag at second. This inning started with a strikeout of Adam Hackenberg. Servideo singled. Jordan bounced out. And then a walk and back-to-back hits for Hyannis. Has him up 4-2. 2-0 pitch. DeSantolo swings and sends it out of play off to the left. And DeSantolo, who bats in the number 6 slot tonight for Chad Gassman, has picked up back-to-back base hits. Looking for his 3rd of the night in just the 4th inning. So this Hyannis lineup incredibly potent here today at Red Wilson Field. Dufault looks back toward Julian at second and now comes home with a 2-1 as DeSantolo sends it down the left field line into foul territory. It gets out of the play over the bleachers. So DeSantolo just a bit behind a couple of fastballs from Dufault, not timing him up just right. And the count pulls even at 2-2. So the Northeastern right-hander has put himself into position to try and escape any more damage here in the 4th. Santolo, a tough customer at the plate. Here comes his 2-2 offering. Fastball again, spoiled away. And Lyle, these are the tough at-bats that we've seen Hyannis put up so often through the beginning of the season. They're just not finding the holes. But today, they're racking up the runs in bunches. A 3-spot here in the 4th. Definitely good to see this lineup finally breaking through. Dufault set another 2-2. Breaking ball cut and a miss as DeSantolo goes down. So Brandon Dufault works himself out of it, pulling the string on Jared DeSantolo, but the damage has been done from Hyannis. They snatched the lead back. It's 4-2. A 3-spot in the frame, and YD looks to respond when we return in the bottom of the 4th on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. The Red Sox send 6, 7, and 8 to the plate in the bottom of the fourth. And Tyler Madison returns back to the mound for Hyannis, and he's got a cushion to sit on here on Independence Day. This Hyannis bats have gotten him a 4-2 advantage, a 3-spot put up in the top of the frame. And now it's Brad Beasley stepping in with the hometown bats trying to get themselves going. First pitch, a fastball in for a strike. It's 0-1. Well, Madison certainly knows how to work with the lead, and when he's got a cushion to sit on, he can absolutely cruise. Fires in a breaking ball that misses down 1-1. His first outing of the season on June the 14th was a tie at Falmouth. He went 5 innings, giving up just 1 earned on 2 hits. 1-1 offering. Breaking ball that sits on the outside corner, a called strike. Picked up 9 wins in his season with the Bryant Bulldogs. In 15 outings, he went 80 1/3. So definitely a high volume of work guy. As a 1-2 pitch comes in, it's a high fastball. The count pulls even 2-2. Right-hander quickly back into the windup. His next offering, a breaking ball. He spikes it in front of the plate, knocked down by Hackenberg. Another full count for the right-hander. And walks weren't that much of an issue for Madison in his college season. Walked just 30. And he's worked himself into a high amount of full counts in his 2019 summer with Hyannis. And it hasn't come back to bite him just yet. Beasley awaits the payoff pitch. Here it is. A fastball popped up right side, but it's going to get out of play. Madison wipes some sweat off the bill of his cap. Steps back onto the rubber for the next 3-2. Into the wind and the delivery. Fastball again sent down the right field line. That's going to drift foul. Getting beyond the bleachers and over the fence that seals the confines of Red Wilson Field. Madison's next payoff. Fastball down low, and he lost him. Madison jumped back off the rubber. He knew he lost him on the delivery. Bit frustrated, but Jake Palmer makes his way to the plate with 1 on and nobody away.
Number 28, Jake.
So the right-hander will be forced to work out of the stretch. And for Madison, just his second walk of the entire summer. Came into tonight's outing with 0 walks. This YD team has shown some good patience at the plate, trying to respond as they trail by 2 here at home. First pitch to Palmer. He sends one on the ground in between DeSantelo and Olson. That gets into right field, a base hit. Going station to station is Beasley. He pulls up at second base. So the first 2 runners here in the 4th inning reaching, and the Red Sox have something going.
From UCLA.
Well, the walk to Brad Beasley as Madison just lost him in that at bat, and then follows up with a ball from Jake Palmer that wasn't really hit that hard, just found the right gap between Olson and DeSantelo.
Now Madison forced to work out of the stretch. These Red Sox bats ever so relentless, as evident by the 13 runs they put up last night. Trying to respond here. They've put up 6 hits on the board to Hyannis' 8. It's been an offensive outburst for both sides so far, racking up the hits in bunches. And when Cardenas digs in, a righty-righty matchup with a couple of runners aboard for YD. Madison set his first offering. Fastball sent down the line in right, but out of play. Bleachers filled just about all the way around here in South Yarmouth. Slight breeze blowing out toward left field, but an absolutely gorgeous night for baseball. Of course, the early 5 o'clock start here at YD. One of the 3 fields, as Lyle mentioned a bit earlier on in the broadcast, with no lights here on Cape Cod. So Cardenas into the right-handed box, patiently awaiting the 0-1. Here it comes. Fastball that's high at the letters. The count evens at a ball into strike. And Lyle, we talked about 4th of July fireworks. Both of these teams look like they're headed for a big offensive output and some fireworks of their own tonight. Hunter Goodman already with a long ball tonight. Both teams, both lineups spraying the ball over the yard. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball out of the glove of Hackenberg. Just a bit low and away. That's 2-1. Edward Julian, who started this at bat behind the bag, now creeps in toward the lip of the infield grass. As time is calling, Cardenas has made his way down the third baseline for a quick talk with his third base coach. And now pitching coach Ray Korn has emerged from the dugout. He'll ask for time to have a quick conversation with his right-hander on the hill. Adam Hackenberg will also join in on this conversation.
Fans, learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom.
And Lyle Madison surrendered his first couple of walks, but hasn't really come back to bite him just yet. But YD threatening here in the fourth with a couple runners aboard. And a hitter that's already drawn one of those 2 walks, Noah Cardenas at the plate. So perhaps this conversation on the mound is trying to settle down Madison a bit.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And Tyler's a guy who can work himself out of jams. I mean, he gave up 1 run back in the second inning, but prevented any further damage. And Madison, again, a guy who doesn't really walk a lot of guys, but for as many guys as he can strike out, he can also pitch to contact, as evident from that 1-6-3 double play he turned back in the first. So again, nobody out here with 2 on, but double plays intact. Whitey's got their bottom of the lineup up. Madison has a chance to take advantage.
And the tall right-hander, 6'4" out of Bryant, trying to protect this 2-run lead that Hyannis has worked to gain here on the road. And they lead it by a score of 4-2, bottom of the 4th inning from South Yarmouth. Madison a turn and a look back to second base. Nobody was covering, but Beasley retreats back to the bag at a force of habit. It's Jake Palmer at first. He followed up the Beasley walk with a single of his own. Noah Cardenas has been in the box for quite a while. He's working with a 2-1 count. Madison a couple checks back to second. Now the 2-1, squaring to bunt, but pulling back on a fastball in the dirt was Cardenas. So Madison has fallen behind 3-1 and a good hitter's count for the catcher. So YD, after surrendering 3 in the top of the frame, looking to respond here in the bottom of the inning. They've got a runner in scoring position. Madison, a deep breath on the mound, the pitch. Squaring to bunt again, popped up off of the fencing over on the right side by the Hyannis dugout. And the count runs full. Cardenas trying to play some small ball for YD. We've seen a couple of bunts drop down. Wyatt Young had one earlier on in the ball game, a bloop bunt that was dropped in between the Bermuda Triangle between Madison, Olson, and DeSantelo. Cardenas batting out of the number 8 spot, just trying to advance a couple of runners with nobody away. Madison, brown glove tucked under his shoulder. Now he's set at the belt. The payoff pitch. Both runners break, and Cardenas sends one in the air to center. Teodosio retreating back a couple steps. He's got it lined up, and he'll make the grab. Both runners scampering back to the bag, so 1 down. And Madison, once again, inducing some contact good enough to record an out, and that'll bring up Gavin Dugas.
The second baseman from
Well, Cardenas gave it a ride, but no trouble for Bryce, who was playing pretty much straight away in center. It made the pretty easy play.
So Gavin Dugas reached on a fielder's choice. That went 6-4. That was back in the second inning, was stranded at third base in that frame. He's got an opportunity to get YD back into this one and make it perhaps a 1-run game if he can find some outfield grass. It's 1 down in the inning. Jackson Olson shading over toward the bag at second. He's creeping in behind the bag now. No check from Madison. Fires a breaking ball in the dirt. Beasley broke about halfway down the line, but he's back to the bag at second. Pitching coach Ray Korn from the dugout yelling, "Throw it out, not down." Madison has spiked a couple breaking balls in this frame. Trying to limit the walks. He's worked himself behind in a few counts, and 1-0 here to the hitter Gavin Dugas. Right-hander at the belt, and a peek back to second. Now he comes home. Fastball in for a strike. Paint job on the outside corner, and the count evens 1-1. And Trevor Hoover playing pretty deep in left, considering the dimensions of this ballpark here at Red Wilson. 352 to center, so Teodosio just about straight up. 1-1 from Madison, down in the dirt. Trying to pick his spot at the bottom of the zone with another breaking ball, but he missed with it, 2-1. And the pace slowing down here for Madison with a couple runners aboard, and YD with a miniature threat and 1 down. Dugas waves the bat at the Bryant Bulldog. Here comes the 2-1. Both runners break. A fastball outside. Throw down to third is going to be In time, they got him. But Beasley broke for third on the pitch, got a bit of a late jump. The slide not in time with Julian slapping down the tag. And that is a big second out.
And Hackenberg just delivered a bullet right there to Julian down the line at third. Tag quickly applied, and Beasley was absolutely hosed. So Hackenberg and Julian really helping out their pitcher Madison right there.
Well, the Red Sox center fielder hung out to dry 90 feet down the third baseline. Runner aboard at second base. That's Jake Palmer as the breaking ball missed inside, and Madison loses to number 9 man Dugas. Third walk of the outing for the right-hander, and now it's back to the top of the order for the ever-dangerous Wyatt Young. It's really been a thorn in the side of the Harbor Hawks, and that will end Madison's night. Chad Gassman has emerged from the dugout, and he makes the signal to the pen right away. So he makes his way out to the mound to get the ball from the right-hander. And we're going to get a pitching change here from Wed Wilson. We'll have that for you on the other side of the break on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Chad Gassman puts the ball in the hand of Florida right-hander Nolan Crisp out of the bullpen, trying to work out of the fourth inning. But he's got a tough customer at the plate in Wyatt Young. He's 2 for 2 on the evening, a couple of singles for him, both coming in the first and second frames. So Nolan Crisp has tossed 8 innings for Chad Gassman's squad so far in 2019. Surrendered 9 hits, 7 earned runs, walked 4 and struck out 10. That's good for a 7.88 ERA. So Wyatt Young stands in from the left side, choked up on the bat a couple of inches. Crisp fires a fastball that misses high and away. So a couple of runners aboard for YD. One was just a race. That was Brad Beasley, who was gunned down at third by Adam Hackenberg. And that was a big out. That's the situation we have ourselves in right now with 2 down and a 1-0 count to Wyatt Young. Right-hander Crisp set the pitch. Fastball foul tipped off the glove of Hackenberg as it rolls to the left toward the Red Sox dugout. It's 1-1. And both runners aboard, responsibility of starter Tyler Madison. Big Palmer out at second base. He's singled. And Gavin Dugas, who racked up the third walk of the night for YD, aboard at first. Wyatt Young trying to keep this bottom of the fourth inning alive for the Red Sox. Nolan Cripps, ball dangling in that right arm, now becomes set at the shoulders. Here he comes with his 1-1. Breaking ball, called strike 2 on the outside corner. Great placement from the right-hander from Florida. The Gator, a good walk to strikeout ratio on the summer of 2019. 4 walks to 10 strikeouts. So he's got some swing and miss stuff. He could use it certainly right here against Wyatt Young in a 1-2 count with 2 away. It's been a lengthy bottom of the 4th. Chris trying to put an end to it right here. Couple looks to second. Now the 1-2 pitch. Up the middle. And Olson's going to range to second. Flip to Servideo in time for the out. And that is how the bottom of the 4th inning will end. Jackson Olson came ranging right up the middle to steal a base hit away from Wyatt Young.
That's right.
So a 4-6 fielder's choice ends the bottom of the 4th, and YD goes without a run. Still 4-2 Hyannis. Top 5 coming up from Red Wilson when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
The second baseman from the
Jackson Olson, Bryce Teodosio, and Adam Hackenberg. Bottom third of the Hyannis lineup set to come to the plate in the top of the 5th against Northeastern right-hander Brandon Dufault. Olson's 0 for 2 today, has made 2 loud outs, one on a long fly out in the second, one on a long line out to center in the third. Dufault directly out of the stretch first offering, off speed, good for a strike. So Jackson Olson came into the day hitting .275. Looking for his first hit with nobody on. Against the righty, Dufault comes home, swings and lines one down the right field line. That's hooking foul. So Nolan Crisp came on in relief with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th and recorded the final out on a Jackson Olson fielder's choice as he swings away and chops one to the second baseman. Dugas fields cleanly, moving to his left, flips to first, and there's one away. So Olson, the quietest out he's put together so far in this ballgame. He makes it 0 for 3 as Bryce Teodosio walks to the plate. Teodosio looking to get something going here in the top of the 5th. Bryce on the day. 1 for 2, single and a flyout. Dufault, the lengthy righty, comes home. Good fastball right at the knees, called strike 1. So Tyler Madison's night officially ends as the book was closed on him after 3 2/3 innings. Crisp cleared the bases to end the bottom of the 4th. As Dufault fires home, Teodosio swings and lines one deep out to right center, or just shallow rather. In comes Palmer, he makes the grab. So Bryce squares one the other way, but Palmer moved in pretty quickly, and he makes the grab for the second out. But for Madison on the night, just 2 earned runs. He walked 3, struck out 3. So he didn't work too deep into the ball game. But more importantly than that, he keeps the Hyannis Ball Club in the game. They lead by 2 here in the top of the 5th. 4-2 the score with 2 down. Hackenberg, the Clemson Tiger, the hitter. Offering swing and a miss through a breaking ball from the right-hander, Dufault. And Brendan touched on it earlier. Dufault's been pretty deadly out of the YD bullpen this summer. This is his 5th appearance. He's made 1 start. As he comes home, Hackenberg watches one inside, but good for a strike. 1.68 ERA, although he's had a little bit of command struggles himself. He's walked 5 and struck out 5, again, coming into this start, or outing rather. Now they 0-2. Swing and a miss, he got him swinging. So like clockwork, Brandon Dufault works a 1-2-3 top of the 5th, and it keeps the score at bay. For Hyannis, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. It's YD4, Hyannis 2. And we'll go to the bottom of the 5th when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Noah Campbell, the switch-hitting South Carolina Gamecock, makes his way to the left side of the box. So we're back for the bottom of the 5th from Red Wilson Field. Hyannis leading by a score of 4-2. Nolan Crisp back on the mound for what should be his first full inning of work. First offering, good for a strike on a heater. So Crisp came on with 2 away in the bottom of the 4th, and he induced that Wyatt Young 4-6 fielder's choice. Offering to Campbell, slaps foul the other way, and it gets out of play. So you've heard it a couple times already, but the top third of this Whitey lineup has been absolutely deadly. Campbell in an 0-2 count. Crisp shakes his head once, now fires. It's way up high and away. So Wyatt Young, who's the leadoff hitter for Whitey, he sits with an average of .396 on the summer. Pitch to Campbell, it's up high. He leads the Cape in average. Already with 2 hits today, an RBI and a run scored. So he's been absolutely scorching. Crisp fires home. Runs outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Young doesn't have a ton of power, but always finds ways to get on base, whether it be via the bunt or just an easy base hit. He's also got some speed on the base paths. 3-2. Campbell pops one foul up and out of play over the YD press box behind home plate. Then you have a player like Noah Campbell in the 2 spot. So Young always sets the tone at the top of the lineup. But Campbell, a guy who can kind of do it all. Can hit for average, can hit for power, and does it from both sides of the plate. 3-2. Up high, and he loses the Gamecock. Campbell works a long at bat and draws a walk to begin the bottom of the 5th, and there's 1 aboard with nobody down.
Wow, Campbell really just showing some good patience there. Crisp tried to drop in a breaking ball backdoor a couple of times in that at bat. Couldn't do it on the last pitch. And as a result, Campbell standing aboard at first.
So Campbell, the runner at first. Austin Wells, the Arizona Wildcat, digs in from the left side as Crisp goes out of the stretch, but he fires over to first. Back safely, Noah Campbell. So Campbell, a guy who's put up a really nice season so far in 2019 on the Cape. He's hitting .324. Again, the 2 long balls, 6 RBIs. But that's just child's play to what he did last year. Pitch to Wells, good for a strike off speed. So in 2018, Hyannis' own Matthew Barefoot won the Cape League MVP as he put together what was an unbelievable summer. He led the league in average, fires home. Wells chops one right at the second baseman. Olson charges in, his only play to first, he flips there. So a 4-3 putout as Olson goes to DeSantolo. Wells retired on the ground out, but moving down to second, Noah Campbell.
The third baseman from the University of Georgia.
That'll bring up Riley King with a runner on second, 1 down. Whitey trailing 4-2 in the bottom of the 5th. But for Noah Campbell, he had an unbelievable 2018. He was a Cape League All-Star for Whitey. He was near the top in almost every offensive stat. He finished second behind Matthew Barefoot in average. As Crisp will come home. King watches one right at the top of the zone on a breaking ball. It's 0-1. He hit 6 home runs, 26 RBIs. That was second in the league. And in fact, with 3 games to go in 2018, he was hitting .406, but he went hitless in the final 3 games to finish the year. And Barefoot finished ahead of him in average. Pitch. Misses away, it's 1-1. So Campbell in 2018, easily on the short list, probably on the short list of about 5 guys to compete for the Cape League MVP back a summer ago. Crisp checks the runner at second. He wheels and fires home. Ground ball left side. Julian can't make the snag going to his left. It sails into left field. Campbell moves from second to third. King stops at first, and he picks up his first hit of the night, putting runners on the corners with 1 down.
Well, a tough play for Julian. Had to go to his left a little bit. He was sort of hugging the line as that pitch came in, and it was just a chopper in between him and Servideo. I'm not sure if any of them would have had a play over to first base. A tough one just skips into left field, men on the corners.
So now Jack Wold, the hitter. He's 0 for 2. Double play in the first, struck out looking in the third. Offering, down low, it's 1-0. So Campbell stands at third. Getting back to him. On a short list of about 5 guys, him Barefoot for sure. Andrew Vaughn of Wareham, Spencer Torkelson of Chatham, Austin Shenton of Wareham. Probably the 5 guys right in the running. Crisp checks the runner at first, fires home. Line drive over Julian. Fair down the left field line. That's going to get into the corner. Campbell scores from third. Going first to third, the runner. He's going to get the wave around. That's King. Relay to the plate from Anthony Servideo. Not in time. King steps on the plate standing up, and it's a 2 RBI double from Jack Wold to knot up this ball game at 4-4.
Well, Wold put an absolute charge into that ball, roping it down the left field line. It got all the way to the corner. As we mentioned, a lot of foul ground here, so more room for Harvard to have to cover to go get that baseball. And by that time, it was already too late. Riley King was on his way around. He came in to score.
That brings up Brad Beasley. Runner on second with 1 down. Brand new ball game at 4-4 here in the bottom of the 5th. Crisp looks at the runner, fires home. Down low, it's a called strike. So again, it's this top third of the Whitey order that's put together a lot of the damage, but they can hit 1 through 9. There's no doubt about it. Beasley's still looking to uptick his batting average a little bit this summer. Pitch from Crisp. Good breaking ball in there. It's 0-2. But Campbell once again, 0 for 11 to finish the regular season. He was hitting .406 on the summer. And he was playing just about every day. As a matter of fact, he became Whitey's everyday second baseman, despite being an outfielder by trade, where he played for South Carolina. Now Crisp peeks at the runner, fires home. Breaking ball just away. It's 1-2. The long story short, Noah Campbell had one heck of a summer in 2018. But after his sophomore year at South Carolina, he's back with YD and putting up big offensive numbers again. 1-2 from Crisp, way inside, and that runs the count even. So Young, a typical leadoff hitter, high average, good base stealer, gets on base. Campbell, a guy who kind of does it all and's already had success up here in Cape Cod. 2-2 from Crisp. Misses just away with an off speed. It's 3-2. And then there's a guy like Austin Wells in the 3 spot. One runner on, that's Jack Wold. He gets a lead off of second. Jackson Olsen playing way to his right and toward the bag. Payoff pitch. Down low, and Crisp loses the hitter. Brad Beasley draws a 1-out walk to put runners on first and second. So 4 of the first 5 base runners reach for the YD Red Sox. And that'll bring up Jake Palmer. Pitching coach Ray Korn's going to call time. He's going to make the walk out to the mound to have a word with the right-hander Crisp. For Nolan, in his freshman year at Florida, went 39 in the 3rd innings, 21 appearances, 6 of them starts, 4-4 with a 6.41 ERA, but top 10 in the SEC in saves with 8. And along with that, 21 walks to 21 strikeouts. Nolan, a 3-pitch guy. Low to mid-90s fastball, also a changeup and slider. Has had a little bit of trouble locating here in the bottom of the 5th. Giving up 2 walks, as well as 2 hits. The 2 hits coming on the Riley King single, and the 2 RBI double down the left field line from Jack Wold. 4-4 the score. 8 hits apiece for each team. Palmer, the hitter, he's 2 for 2. He's had a really nice day. Singled and scored in the 2nd to go along with a stolen base. And singled in the 4th as well. He's seeing Crisp for the first time. Nolan fires home. That's good for a strike on the inside half. The lone out, Austin Wells on the ground out to second. But again, to complete that deadly trio at the top of the lineup. Wells, a guy who, along with players like Hayden Cantrell of Falmouth, Max Troiani of Orleans, has to be on an MVP shortlist this summer. Time's called as Palmer's going to reset for a minute. And in fact, all 3 guys at the top of the lineup for YD have a case. Wyatt Young has a case. He's not leading the league in average for nothing. Noah Campbell, once again, putting together a really, really strong summer. But Austin Wells probably standing out the most among the 3 to this point. Pitch from Crisp. Pop up down the left field line. That's going to hook foul and into the bullpen. 0-2 with 1 out. Game deadlocked at 4. But again, for Austin Wells, he's got 5 home runs on the year. With the RBI single earlier in the ballgame, he's got 16 runs batted in. The 5 long balls lead the Cape. And entering today's play, it did so by 2 after that opposite field blast last night in Hyannis. Crisp checks the runner, the 0-2. Swing and a fly ball out to center field. Teodosio tracking back. He's got a beat on it, turns the shoulder, makes the grab. Tagging from second to third, Jack Wold, he gets in standing. So a productive out from Jake Palmer as he sends the runner 90 feet closer to scoring. And there's 2 out and 1 on for the catcher Noah Cardenas with an RBI opportunity.
Palmer sent one to fairly deep center field that time. Teodosio had to range back a couple steps, playing pretty much straight up in center. With the short fence, any ball hit to center field, you never quite know if it's going to have enough gas to get out. That time, that one just dying a bit before the fence. But like you mentioned, Lyle, a very productive out and puts a runner 90 feet away.
So this will bring up Eric Tolman. Tolman, the man who hit an absolute moonshot of a home run last night. That was off Mitch McIntyre. So Tolman, a 2-way player for Arizona State, and doing more of the same here in YD. A 2-way player hitting against a 2-way player pitching. Tolman versus McIntyre. But Eric got the best of him, just sprang one out to the top of the scoreboard at McKeon Park in Hyannis last night. Time's called as Hackenberg's going to walk out to the mound to have a meeting with Nolan Crisp. But quickly to get back to Austin Wells. Likely stood out the most among the 3 thus far. 3 for 5 last night, home run, 3 RBIs. And once again, the 5 home runs and 16 RBIs where we currently stand. So again, Max Troiani has a case. Hayden Cantrell has a case. Nick Gonzalez certainly has a case. But Austin Wells might be right at the top of that list in the MVP race, as Chad Gassman's going to walk to the mound and end the day of Nolan Crisp. So he'll exit the game with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Third arm for the game set to come in for Hyannis on the other side of the break. It'll be the left-hander Jonah Scolaro out of Florida State. 4-4 here at Red Wilson Field. We'll take just a quick break and join you in just a minute or so when we come back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. As we bring you back from Merrill Red Wilson Field in the bottom of the 5th with 2 down and a runner on third, it's the left-hander Jonah Scolaro set to make his second appearance in a Harbor Hawk uniform in 2019. The lefty out of Florida State set to face the left-handed hitting Sun Devil Eric Tolman. Runners on the corners. He fires home. Tolman swings away, grounds one to short. Servideo charges in. Fields double clutches, throws on the run, and DeSantolo can't make the pick at first. Wold scores from third, and Whitey takes the lead back. It's 5-4 Red Sox in the bottom of the 5th.
And that's just an incredibly tough one for Servideo at shortstop. I mean, it was a routine ground ball, and it looked like he fumbled with it in the glove a little bit before making the throw over to DeSantolo. By the time he did, it came out low. DeSantolo unable to make the pick.
That brings up Gavin Dugas, left-handed hitting second, or right-handed hitting second baseman from LSU. Lefty out of Florida State Scolaro peeks at the runner, fires home, swinging a pop-up out of play. So Brad Beasley stands at second. He advanced 90 feet on the play where they're going to rule it an error on Servideo. So Tolman reaches on the E6 in his pinch hit appearance. And that run will be put on the board for Whitey. It's 5-4 Red Sox. Scolaro checks the runners. 0-1, he delivers. Up and away, it's 1 ball, 1 strike. So that run won't be credited to Nolan Crisp. Due to the E6, it'll go on his line, but unearned in his name. So Nolan's night ends after an inning pitched, 2 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned. 2 walks, and no strikeouts. 1-1 the count with 2 aboard. 5-4 Whitey the score. Scolaro misses upstairs. So Scolaro licks his left hand just briefly, and now he steps back on the rubber with 2 on. Beasley at second, Tolman at first. Dugas the hitter. He's reached base twice, but is 0 for 1 with a walk and a fielder's choice. Pitch from Scolaro. Swing and a high pop-up right side. This is going to get out of play and find its way toward the snack stand. Count levels at 2-2. Scalaro one pitch away from getting out of the inning. But after Whitey led 2-1 through 3 frames, Hyannis put up a 3 spot in the top of the 4th. But here in the bottom of the 5th, Whitey matches them and tips their cap right at Hyannis. A 3 spot of their own to this point, as they've taken the lead back at 5-4. Scalaro sets right below the letters, peeks at the runner Beasley at second. Roxon deals home in the dirt on a breaking ball smothered by Hackenberg, and it's 3-2. Scalaro in that first appearance for Hyannis went 1 2/3 innings of scoreless ball. 1 hit, no walks, 3 strikeouts. In search of number 4 right here to the hitter Gavin Dugas. Scalaro leans in at the catcher Hackenberg, now gets the sign. Runners will be taking off with the pitch. 3-2 to Dugas. Swing and a ground ball foul left side. Just to the left of the chalk down the third baseline. That would have easily scored Beasley from second if it had stayed fair. But Scalaro gets a new baseball. Steps back on top the rubber. And Dugas will reset for just a second. This is the number 9 bat in the Whitey lineup. Dugas hitting just .083 as we currently speak. Scalaro sets at the belt. The full count offering on the way. Downstairs, ball 4. Scalaro loses the hitter Gavin Dugas to his second walk of the evening. And now he's going to have to deal with Wyatt Young at the top of the lineup.
Well, this by far the biggest at bat of the ball game. It's going to be a lefty-lefty matchup, but with the bases loaded and 2 down. This could either make or break the game for Hyannis going forward. Already trailing by 1. Whitey responded with a 3 spot. And if Wyatt Young can somehow pick up his third base hit, it could make things shift well in the favor of the Red Sox.
So Scalaro is going to work back to the windup with the bases loaded. He's going to quickly step off the mound. Wipe his face with his right arm. And he holds that glove out. Second arm dangling down by his belt. Now it comes into the glove. He gets the sign, delivers home. Good breaking ball for a called strike on the outside corner. Young, the 9th batter to the plate this inning. So Whitey's hit around here in the bottom of the 5th. They've scored 3 runs. Hyannis has committed 1 error on the Anthony Servideo low throw to first. Scalaro ready. 0-1 offering. Swing and a miss from Wyatt Young. It's 0-2. So Jonah blows a fastball by him right there. And he's way ahead of the count at 0-2 with 2 down. Whitey leads 5-4. Each team with 8 hits. Hyannis with the 1 error in the game. That coming 3 hitters ago, courtesy of Anthony Servideo. Beasley at third, Tolman at second, Dugas at first. Pitch, fouled straight back. So Whitey, a very, very potent offensive team. They come into today second in the Cape in team average. That sits at 263. Second in hits and first in runs. In fact, last night, with their 13 spot put on Hyannis, they had 100 total coming into tonight. The first team on the Cape to 100 runs. Now they currently sit at 105. Scalaro looking to keep him off the board. Pitch to Young, swing and a miss. Hackenberg's just going to step on the plate to complete the strikeout, and that will end the bottom of the 5th inning. So Whitey takes the lead back at 5-4, but Scalaro limits the damage. Whitey sends their entire lineup to the plate in the bottom of the 5th inning. For the Red Sox, 3 runs, 1 2 hits, 1 error, and 3 left on. We'll go to the top of the 6th when we come back. It's Whitey 5, Hyannis 4 on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. We go to the top of the 6th.
For Hyannis.
Here from Red Wilson Field in South Yarmouth, as the YD Red Sox have roared back with a 3 spot in the bottom of the 5th to go up 5-4. Default back on the mound. First pitch to the leadoff hitter, Anthony Servideo, is taken for a strike on the outside corner. Servideo 1 for 2 today with a walk. He roped that single up the middle back in the top of the 4th and was 1 of 3 to come around to score. Pitch out of the stretch from Default. Good for a strike on the outside corner. It's 0-2. So YD responds to Hyannis' 3 spot. Hyannis looking to give him a punch back. Default's been decently sharp so far. Pitch to Servideo, it's outside. Had that tough spot back in the top of the 4th. But he struck out 2, giving up just the 2 hits, and walked just 1. The righty out of Northeastern comes set, gets the sign from the new catcher, Austin Wells, fires home. Servideo swings and misses. First out of the top of the 6th as Servideo punches out for the first time tonight. It's the 4th strikeout for Brandon Default, and it'll bring up Rowdy Jordan. So a couple of defensive changes for YD. Austin Wells has gone back behind the plate to do the catching, with Eric Tolman taking over in left field. Tolman hit in the spot of Noah Cardenas, so his day's done. The two-way player from ASU set to take the field. He stands in left, shifting a bit over to his left as Jordan swings and fouls one out of play down the third baseline. Rowdy today, 1 for 2 or 0 for 2 with a walk. Went 1 for 4 last night. Still hitting from the left side against the righty Default. Pitch, swing and a miss. It's 0-2. So Default made decently quick work of Anthony Servideo to begin the top of the 6th. Now he's way ahead 0-2 to the Mississippi State Bulldog Rowdy Jordan. Offering up high, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Default gave up 2 hits in his first appearance on the summer. That was in a 4-3 loss at Lowell Park against Catuit. But these 2 hits he's allowed so far, the most since then. Offering. Jordan slaps one right side, right at the first baseman. Waldy fields chest high, steps on the pillow, and there's 2 away. So 2 quick outs for YD in the field to begin the top of the 6th, and it'll bring up Trevor Hover with nobody on and 2 down.
Arizona State University, Trevor Hover.
So again, Default threw that 1 2/3 innings against Catuit. He gave up the 2 hits, also walked 2, but didn't give up any runs. Only run he had allowed entering today's play was in an inning of work against Orleans on June the 20th. Righty comes set, stretch and fires. Hover watches one away. Against Falmouth, he threw an inning in the 3rd scoreless, giving up just the 1 hit. And against Brewster, he threw an inning in a 3rd scoreless, giving up just 1 hit. So this has been Default's toughest outing to date. It's been against the Hyannis team that's starting to find a little bit of offensive rhythm over the last few ball games. As Hover watches one down, it's 2-0. Last night was one you can kind of throw out. They had just 1 run on 3 hits. But again, offense started to rally late at Catuit. Offense started to rally late at Orleans, even though they dropped both those contests. Pitch to Hover, down low, 3-0. Meanwhile, for YD, they've been on the total opposite end of the spectrum over the course of a couple different games this week. They won 13-1 against Hyannis last night. Earlier in the week, they lost 15-1 at Chatham. 3-0. Hover watches one at the top of the zone. It's 3-1. So a borderline strike brings Hover back to the box as he walked a couple steps down the first baseline. But he digs back in. He's been inside the left side of the box. Hover today 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Pitch on the outside corner. Count runs to 3-2. So Default's retired the last 6 batters he's faced. Hasn't given up a hit since the Edward Julian RBI double. He comes set after getting the sign from the Wildcat Austin Wells behind the plate. 3-2. Down low, and Hauver draws another walk. That's his 14th of the summer, second of the ball game, and he's on at first with 2 away for Hunter Goodman. So Trevor Hauver has now made it 7 walks over his last 3 games. This guy's just want no part of him. To be fair, he had a great sophomore year at ASU. Hit .339, 13 home runs. But Trevor's a guy who really knows how to work some counts. Doesn't chase a whole lot out of the zone. Knows his strike zone pretty well as he gets a short lead off of first. And Dufault, of course, still out of the stretch, fires to Goodman, who swings and pops one sky high but foul, right side out of play. For Hauver, he came into the day hitting just .218, but again, factor in the walks. His on base was .368, and it's only gone up since then. Trevor's reached base 3 times now tonight. Goodman swings away and chops one foul to the left side. And Goodman himself, another guy that's had himself quite a day. Responsible for half of the Hyannis runs scored. 2 RBIs on the day. Solo home run in the third, RBI single in the fourth. 5-4 YD the score. Hyannis looking to chip away at a 1-run deficit. Hauver, a short lead pitch from Dufault, swing and a miss by Goodman. That ends the inning as Hunter strikes out for the second time tonight, and Dufault faces just 4 batters in the bottom of the 6th. He gives up the 2-out walk to Hauver, but not much else. For Hyannis in the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left on. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. To the bottom of the 6th we go from Red Wilson Field in Yarmouth, and it'll be the left-hander Jonah Scalaro back on the mound for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, set to face the 2-3-4. Noah Campbell now hits from the right side as he gets the offering, and it's a called strike on the outside corner. Campbell today, 1 for 2. Single, walk, a run scored, but also a ground out to the pitcher. Scalaro ready with the 0-1. Swing and a miss by Campbell. It's no balls, 2 strikes. Again, Campbell having another spectacular summer for YD this 2019. Jonah extends his glove out toward home plate. Now brings his hand in, delivers the 0-2. It's up high. So Campbell, a guy who is a little bit of a jack of all trades. Switch hitter, can play the outfield along with the infield. The offering, it's down low, 2-2. Briefly talked to Noah before the game, because when you just kind of get your first look at him, the guy does have a little bit of a look-alike. If you take a look at A's shortstop Marcus Semien, the two are a bit similar in terms of appearance. Up high, it's 3-2. Scalaro runs one upstairs, and the count swells. And asked Noah about it. He says, "No, yeah, I've gotten that before." He wasn't too shocked to hear that one. But the difference between the two, Semi and a natural infielder, Campbell, an outfielder by trade who can play the infield. 3-2's fouled back, and the count stays the same. So Semi in the starting shortstop for the Oakland A's ball club. Campbell, a top to middle of the lineup bat for the YD ball club. Offering from Scalaro, strike 3 call. Heater right at the knees, freezes Campbell, and there's the first out of the bottom of the 6th inning.
The catcher from the University of Arizona.
That's Scalaro's second strikeout of the night, back-to-back if you date back to the bottom of the 5th. And now he's set to face the ever-dangerous Austin Wells out of Arizona. Wells is just 1 for 3 today, but of course, an RBI single. Scalaro looks over the glove, fires home. Breaking ball down, it's 1-0. So for Jonah Scalaro, fastball, curveball, slider guys, so 2 breaking balls that he can put together. Offering down low, 2-0. He served as one of the primary arms out of Florida State's bullpen in 2019. He has the ability to play several roles. He can close if need be. Also can go short in relief, and he can go long in relief. Offering to Wells down, 3 balls, no strikes. Scalaro threw 3 2/3 scoreless innings in a 5-2 win against Virginia Tech. Fires the 3-0, it's up high. He loses Austin Wells on 4 pitches. So Wells aboard for the second time. First YD base runner of the bottom of the 6th aboard. That'll bring up Riley King. But why are those 3 2/3 innings relevant, you might ask? Well, first off, it was a really strong appearance for Scalaro. He only allowed 1 base runner. But that 5-2 win over Virginia Tech helped earn Florida State head coach Mike Martin his 2000th career win. Martin, the first coach in collegiate baseball to ever reach that feat. Pitch from Scalaro. Fouled straight back. So Jonah has a little bit of piece in Seminole baseball history. A pretty cool one at that, as Mike Martin just retired as the Seminoles head coach after a 40-plus year tenure. Over 2,000 wins. A final trip to the College World Series this year. Scalaro fires home the 0-1. It's tapped foul left side. It's 0-2 with 1 out. Whitey leading 5-4 with a runner on. That's Austin Wells. But in that appearance to Omaha for the Seminoles, they won against the University of Arkansas. But then Michigan and Texas Tech losses eliminated the Seminoles from play out in Omaha, Nebraska. 0-2 from Jonah. Swinging the line drive right at Julian. He snags it. Back throw to first to DeSantolo, and that doubles off Austin Wells. 5-3 double play ends the bottom of the 6th as Edward Julian catches a frozen rope off the bat of Riley King, going a bit to his left at third, made an easy toss across the diamond to DeSantolo at first, and that doubled up Austin Wells, who was halfway to second. So for YD in the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. Scalaro faces the minimum despite giving up the walk to Wells, and it's 5-4 Red Sox through 6 innings of play. We'll be back for the 7th when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Third baseman from Auburn.
Edward Julian, Jared DeSantolo, and Jackson Olson, three left-handed hitting infielders due up for Hyannis in the top of the seventh. 5, 6, 7 in the order as the Auburn Tiger Julian digs his way into the left side of the box, with the Northeastern right-hander Brandon Dufault back on the mound. Dufault's been really working it since that fourth inning in his relief appearance as he misses up high to the hitter Julian. 5-4 Whitey the score. Hyannis put up those 3 runs in the top of the fourth. 2 of those credited to Dufault, both earned. But since then, he's really been cruising. Pitch to Julian, just outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Dufault's retired 7 of his last 8 hitters. The only man to reach, Trevor Hauver, on a 2-out walk back in the top of the 6th frame. Dufault comes set. He gets the sign from Austin Wells and fires home. Fastball good for a strike on the outer black. Edward Julian, 2 for his first 6. Also walked today. In the game, he's 1 for 2 with that free pass. 2-1. Swinging a foul back. He almost came out of his shoes with that swing, but that levels the count. So Hyannis looking to avenge what was a 13-1 loss last night. And they trail by 1 here in the top of the 7th inning. We're right at the 2.5-hour mark of this contest. First pitch was at 5:02, 7:32 p.m. the time. Pitch from Dufault. Julian checks his swing just a little bit. But it's 3 balls, 2 strikes as he doesn't go around, wasn't even an appeal down to third. So Hyannis already with 5 walks so far tonight. Now the 3-2, down and make it 6. Julian draws his second base on balls of the evening as he flips his bat toward the dugout, walks down to first, and it'll bring up Jared DeSantolo with nobody out and 1 on.
Now, this entire lineup for Hyannis has been just kind of a walk-generating machine. I mean, they have just been racking them up in bunches. Another one tonight, that's Julian's second just by himself.
So manager Scott Pickler is going to make his way out to the mound. This could end Dufault's night. He's looking down the left field line. He's yet to make a signal. And now he's going to extend that left hand toward the left field line, issuing for a new arm. That'll end Dufault's night. He gets through 2 2/3 innings, and he's responsible for the runner Edward Julian at first. So we'll have that new arm for you on the other side of the break. Top of the 7th with nobody out. Whitey 5, Hyannis 4. We'll be back in just a moment on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Jared DeSantolo, the FAU Owl, digging into the left side of the box as we bring you back for the top of the 7th from South Yarmouth. 5-4 YD. Nobody out. Edward Julian aboard at first after being issued that leadoff walk from the right-hander, Brandon Default, who's now exited the game. Entering, right-hander Adam Jeanette, the 6'5", 205-pound right-hander out of Mercyhurst. He fires home to the hitter DeSantolo, misses away. It's 1-0. For Default, he went 2 2/3 innings, 2 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. To this point, he's allowed 2 runs, both of them earned. But he's responsible for the runner Julian at first, so his line's still open. Pitch to DeSantolo, swing and a miss. It's 1-1. Jared's 2 for 3 today. 2 singles and a strikeout swinging. And Jared, a guy who has really swung it well this summer. In fact, he's hitting .349 as we currently speak. He entered play today, ranked 8th in the league in average. And that was even a drop-off due to a hitless night last night as he watches one at the top of the zone. It's 1-2. Entering last night's play, DeSantolo was 4th in the league in average. But things can really swing quickly like that as at-bats don't quite pile up the way they do in school ball. So the right-hander, Adam Jeanette, stares in at his catcher Wells and gets the sign. Fires horn to DeSantolo, and he chops one foul right side. So again, a .349 average for DeSantolo here in 2019. But take a look at his numbers on the road. Entering today's play, he was 10 for 24 in road games. And now you can chalk that up to 12 for 27 after a 2 for 3 performance so far. Pitch from Adam Jeanette and it misses away. And in fact, oddly enough, that's been a trend of this whole team. Hyannis is a ball club entering today, hitting .243 on the road. 5 home runs, 37 RBIs. They'd racked up 72 hits as a club coming into today. 2-2, upstairs, 3 balls, 2 strikes. And 97 total bases to go along with that. So for whatever reason, when they escape the confines of McKeon Park, they just swing it a little bit better. You can zoom the lens even a bit more to the results from this week. 8 runs at Katuitt, 5 runs at Orleans, 4 so far tonight at YD. Pitch to DeSantolo, ground ball right side to his left, the second baseman Dugas. He's just going to flip to first. That's his only play. Wouldn't have had a chance at Julian as it would have had to turn his body almost 360 degrees and make too tough of a throw to second base. So it's a productive out for Jared DeSantolo, moving Julian into scoring position. He stands at second, and Jackson Olsen's now the hitter. Olsen sticking on this trend. Entering today, was hitting .280 in road games. 7 for his first 25. Jeanette giving the hitter Olsen out of Hartford a long look. The Mercyhurst product comes set, fires home. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball. It's 0-1. If you want some comparison, Brennan, you can take a look at the home numbers. Hyannis is a team this summer. They're hitting .181 as a ball club at McKeon Park. 49 hits compared to the 72 entering today on the road. Just 20 RBIs and 63 total bases compared to the 97 on the road. Pitch to Olsen, swing and a miss. It's 0-2. So for whatever reason, when they leave Hyannis, they just seem to click with the offense a little bit more. Just one of those things. Olsen flipping the bat toward the mound a couple times. Jeanette, the 6'5 right-hander, comes set 0-2. Swinging a ground ball off the leg of Olsen inside the box. He'll stay alive.
And getting back to you mentioning that this team just sees the ball a little bit better when they leave the confines of McKeon Park. There's no really specific thing you can point at to say as to why it happens the way it happens. It's just that these guys, once they get on the bus and head east or west around the rest of the Cape, they just put the bat on the ball a little bit more.
Julian stands at second. Wyatt Young creeping a bit behind him, playing way to his left and up the middle. Gaping hole on the left side. 5-4 Red Sox the score. Pitch to Olsen, ground ball foul down the right field line. So Hyannis actually has more wins at home. 2-7 at McKeon Park. 1-7-1 in road games entering today. Sun starting to set here from Red Wilson Field to our left. The right-hander Jeanette comes set the 0-2, swinging a number foul just behind the catcher Austin Wells.
50-50 winners at the end of this half inning.
And you look at it, the on-base percentage is just completely different too. They reach base at a 343 clip on the road. They reach base at a 244 clip at McKeon Park. 0-2 from Jeanette, swinging a line drive into right field. That's a base hit. Julian gets a late start, but he's being waved around third, putting on the wheels, and he's going to step on the plate without a throw. Jackson Olson knots the game at 5 apiece in the top of the 7th. And the Harbor Hawks have come back to tie this thing on the road. It's 5-5 here from Red Wilson Field as Olson comes through with his first hit of the ball game.
And it couldn't have come in at a better time. Knotting this game up 5 apiece as Rigsby Mosley is going to make his way up to the plate. So Chad Gassman opted to go to the bench, but Jackson Olson, who was inserted into the 7th spot in the lineup tonight, it took him 3 tries, but on the 4th attempt, Rockets one through the right side into right field to knot the ball game. Edward Julian stumbled a bit coming around second, but Chad Gassman had no problem sending him around third base.
You know, the right fielder, Jake Palmer, was playing pretty deep and toward the gap, so he got a late break on the ball, just like Julian got a bit of a late jump. So for Edward, no problem scoring from second. Now pinch hitter Rigsby Mosley comes in and takes the ball away.
Number 12, Rigsby Mosley.
So Rigsby Mosley, in last night's contest, 0 for 3. He comes into tonight looking for his first hit after the ball game was just tied by Olson, who stands at first. Pitch, swing and a miss. To stick on the trend, Rigsby Mosley hits .381 on the road. He's 8 for 21 entering this at bat. Jeanette gets the sign, fires home. It's down low, 2-1. 5-5 here from South Yarmouth. A 3-spot from Hyannis in the top of the 4th after Whitey took a 2-1 lead through 3 innings. The Red Sox put up 3 of their own in the bottom of the 5th. And with that Jackson Olson RBI single to right, it's knotted things up at 5 apiece. Runner takes off, pitch to Mosley, swing and a miss, throw down to second by Wells, tag applied, and he slides under it. Jackson Olson, the throw beat him there, but he gets that right foot under the tag of Wyatt Young. And Hyannis has another runner in scoring position here in the top of the 7th.
And a strategic slide there from Jackson Olson, and the moan from the home supporters here, not exactly in agreement with that last call, but Olson slid that back foot to the far corner of the bag toward right field. If he had slid toward the middle or even the part closest to the pitcher's mound of the second base bag, he might have been out and Young's tag might have been down in time.
Now the pitch from Jeanette, swinging a ground ball foul by Mosley. He stays alive. Rigsby hitting .231 entering this at bat on the season. Again, 0 for 3 last night, but put together a really, really nice night out at Eldridge Park in Orleans a couple games ago. In that contest, he went 3 for 4 with a walk, reached base 4 times. Olson the runner at second. Pitch, swinging a foul off the leg of Austin Wells, who limps a little bit to his left after coming out of the crouch, but he's just going to walk back behind the plate. So Adam Jeanette gets a new baseball. Jeanette making his 3rd appearance this summer. He'd thrown 3 innings entering today's play. An ERA of 3.00, 2 walks to 3 strikeouts. Mosley looking to give Hyannis the lead. Olson the runner at second. Wyatt Young still playing well up the middle. 2-2. Way up high. Gets over the catcher Wells, and Olson's going to advance to third. So a wild pitch from Adam Jeanette sends a Hyannis runner 90 feet from scoring. And Rigsby Mosley has himself a full count with 1 out.
And that's a big one for Rigsby now, who's been swinging a hot bat as of late. He picked up a couple hits a few nights ago. That was in Orleans. Now dealing with a 3-2 count here, and Olson just 90 feet away. Big spot in this inning with just one out.
So 3-2 the count, one on. 5-5, a deadlock here between the Harbor Hawks and Red Sox. 3-2, swinging a line drive. That's fair down the right field line. It's going to be extra bases. Olson scores from third. Mosley at second. He's hitting the burners thinking three. The throw's cut off. There's no throw at third, and Rigsby Mosley comes standing up at third with an RBI triple to give the Harbor Hawks a 6-5 lead over the Red Sox.
And who else but Rigsby Mosley to give Hyannis their first triple of the summer. And what a better time to do it against these Red Sox who have been so good last night. But Hyannis responding here with 2 runs in the 7th. They've been tacking them on strategically. Rigsby Mosley ripping one down the right field line.
Mosley comes in as a pinch hitter, and boy, did he deliver. An absolute missile down the right field line. Olson scored with no problem. He walked home from third. And Mosley trades places with him. He stands at third. Hackenberg swings and grounds one right back to the pitcher. Jeanette fires home to Wells. Tag applied. And he drops the baseball. Mosley called safe at the plate. 7-5 Harbor Hawks as Adam Jeanette, the pitcher, moved to his right, made the play just to his right of the mound, fired home to Austin Wells, an easy toss with Mosley trying to charge from third. Tag was applied, ball comes in and out of the glove of the Wildcat Austin Wells, and Mosley scores after a little bit of a collision at the plate. But he gets up no problem, high fives all around in the first base dugout, and Hyannis is out to a 2-run lead here at Red Wilson Field.
And that was a little bit of a game of twister as Mosley made a beeline for the plate down the third baseline. It was a little chopper off the bat of Hackenberg that time, right back to the mound. It looked like an easy play upon first contact, but not to be, as the ball just rolling out of the glove of Wells as he went to fish for it. It was a bit of a low throw, and the slide from Mosley perhaps threw him off a little bit. But another 3-spot put up here by Hyannis, and what a way to respond.
And Scott Pickler, Whitey manager, has seen enough. Comes out to the mound to relieve Adam Jeanette of his duties, and he's going to go to a left-hander. We'll have that for you on the other side of the break, but Hyannis is in the midst of another 3-spot on offense. It's 7-5 Harbor Hawks. We'll be back in just a moment on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. To the all-name team goes the Whitey Red Sox as left-hander Legend Smith out of the University of Oklahoma toes the slab to face left-handed hitting Anthony Servideo. Smith fires home. It's a breaking ball in. Legend Smith making his 4th appearance for Whitey in 2019. He's 0-1 in 4 2/3 innings pitched, a 13.50 ERA, 5 walks to 7 strikeouts. Pitch to Servideo. Fastball brushes him off the plate as it's inside, 2-0. So for Adam Jeanette, he exits the game. The right-hander Adam Mercyhurst threw just a third of an inning. 2 hits, no walks, no strikeouts. 2 earned runs to this point, but he's responsible for Hackenberg at first. 2-0 from Smith. Good for a strike on a fastball to Servideo. I got to tell you, Brendan, his name's just kind of fun to say.
Legend Smith, yeah, just kind of rolls off the tongue.
Like his first name is Legend. I mean, how often will you hear that? But his last name, about as simple as it gets, Smith. Now the 2-1 from the lefty. Catches the strike zone right at the bottom of the knees as the count levels. So Smith's had some struggles of his own on Cape Cod in 2019. But the Whitey bullpen as a whole has just struggled a little bit. Smith checks the runner Hackenberg, a really short lead at first, the 2-2. Swing and a miss from Servideo. And Legend Smith records his first strikeout of the night as there's 2 down in the top of the 7th inning. That'll bring up Rowdy Jordan. He'll move to the right side of the plate for the first time today. As there's 2 out with 1 on. Hyannis leads 7-5. The second 3 spot of the day put up by the Harbor Hawk offense here in the top of the 7th frame. So Smith in his 2019 season, 3.66 ERA in 19 2/3 innings. Pitch to Jordan, breaking ball that doesn't break. It stays up high, 1-0. 28 appearances, 7 walks to 19 strikeouts. But opponents didn't have much trouble hitting off him this season. A 3.16 batting average against from the Oklahoma Sooner in 2019. Pitch to Jordan, swing and a big miss. 1-1, he gave a healthy hack at it, but comes up empty. 7-5 the score. Hackenberg the runner at first. Hyannis with 10 hits on the night compared to Whitey's 8. Legend Smith checks the runner at first, comes home. Jordan swings and misses one at the top of the letters again. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So to recap the inning, Edward Julian walked. DeSantelo grounded out to second. Jackson Olsen with an RBI single to tie it. Rigsby Mosley comes in as a pinch hitter with an RBI triple to take the lead. And then Adam Hackenberg chopped one back to the mound, but Jeanette threw it home and catcher Austin Wells couldn't apply the tag cleanly. 1-2. Up high, count levels at 2 balls, 2 strikes. So as a result, as Wells had the ball come in and out of his glove when trying to tag out Mosley at the plate, Rigsby scored from third and tacked on the 7th Hyannis run of the night. Harbor Hawks lead by 2. Jordan a 2-2 count with 2 down. Smith, the lefty, checks the runner, comes home. On the inside corner, strike 3. Legend Smith comes in and punches out two straight Harbor Hawk hitters to end the top of the frame. But the damage has been done. 3 runs come across in the inning for Hyannis, courtesy of 2 hits, no errors, 1 left on. It's 7-5 Hyannis through 6.5 frames. And we'll be back for the bottom of the 7th when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
for YD in the seventh.
Bottom of the
His
seventh here
first
from
baseman
Red Wilson
from the
Field. It's the
University
visiting
of
Hyannis
Chicago,
Harborhawks on
first
top,
base.
7-5.
First
And the
baseman,
hometown YD Red Sox
Thomas
coming back to the
Wold.
plate. It's Jack Wold, Brad Beasley, and Jake Palmer. You up against the left-hander Jonas Scolaro, who's worked an inning and a third so far out of Chad Gassman's bullpen. He winds and fires a first pitch fastball that Wold swings on and sends it down the left field line out of play. So this game moving along. We're into the bottom of the seventh, approaching the 8 o'clock hour. Still a slight wind blowing ever so softly out to left field. The sun has retreated back behind some trees that guard the left field line. Wold spins the bat. He's 1 for 3 on the day. He's doubled and scored, but bounced into a double play and struck out otherwise. Breaking ball misses away. On the count 1-1. And Lyle, we looked this up off the air. Sunset 8:17 tonight. Give or take a few minutes. The 1-1 from Scolaro. Breaking ball. That's in for a strike. It's 1-2. With no lights here at Red Wilson Field, games are prone to be called because of darkness. And perhaps if any play does not pick up, that is where we are headed. So Scolaro into his windup. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball just misses. Trying to pick the bottom part of the zone. It's 2-2.
Yeah, and again, Red Wilson Field, one of 3 ballparks with no lights. But how rules work when those situations occur is it reverts back to the last inning.
Well, Hyannis holds a 2-run advantage currently as a fastball is sent down the right field line, well out of play. So the count will hold it 2-2.
Yeah, and that's what's important here with the bottom of the seventh is if Hyannis holds the lead, that could play big if, like you said, Brendan, play doesn't pick up. Because if things are reverted back to the seventh in the 8th and they hold the lead, they'd pick up the win.
The 2-2 from Scolaro. Fastball at the top of the zone. Trying to pick out another spot at the letters. Old staying alive at 3-2. And play has got to speed up for these YD Red Sox to make a comeback in this game. They got to get some base runners and do it in a hurry. Scolaro into his motion, the payoff pitch. 3-2 up high, he walked him. And there's the start the Red Sox were hoping for. So Scolaro surrenders a walk. And it's a leadoff base runner on for YD now for Brad Beasley at the dish.
On Wold reaches base for the second time in as many tries. His first walk tonight. So Scolaro worked it deep in a count, but just couldn't quite drop that breaking ball in.
So it's Scolaro surrendering the leadoff walk. Here's a guy, the center fielder tonight for YD. He's already picked up a couple free passes of his own. In fact, in the last couple trips to the plate that he's had, drawn a couple of walks as he watches a strike on the outside corner, a breaking ball from Scolaro.
Here's another thing to keep in mind too, Brendan. Bourne's off tonight. They're not playing a game, so if Hyannis picks up a win, they advance 2 points on the Braves without even having to check the scoreboard.
As the 0-1 from Beasley is sent in the air to deep center field. Jordan ranging back toward the wall. He leaps and it's out of here. We have a tie game from Red Wilson Field. A long ball off the bat of Brad Beasley ties it 7-7. And just like that, in the blink of an eye, YD strikes back.
Well, that's a Red Wilson home run if I've ever seen one. Took Rowdy Jordan back to the wall. He leaped and gave a courtesy jump and probably got out by about 5 feet. So keep in mind, Brendan, again, the 352 feet to dead center here. It's probably a fly out most other places, but Scolaro just kind of catches a tough break there.
So YD is going to opt to go to a pinch hitter. And in this instance, it's going to be Andrew Eister. The right-handed hitting infielder from South Carolina. So he'll step in a brand new ball game here from Red Wilson. YD striking back with a 2-run home run courtesy of Brad Beasley. Scolaro fires a fastball below the knees, 1-0. So Scolaro into his windup, fires in another fastball. That one couldn't paint the outside corner. It's 2-1. 7 runs on 10 hits for the visiting Harborhawks. 7 runs on 9 hits for the hometown YD Red Sox. Both teams picking up an error in the process over the course of the game tonight. Jordan winds and fires, swinging a foul back. And Lyle, you mentioned the short dimensions in center field. We've talked about it so often on the broadcast throughout the night, but that one a wall scraper, 352 to dead center. Jordan gave it a leap at the last second, just couldn't haul it back into play. Scolaro set for a 2-1. The pitch, breaking ball, cut and a miss. Count evens 2-2. But Bryce Teodosio is out of the game. Randy Jordan has slid over to center field. Rigsby Mosley stays in the game. He's in right. Scolaro's 2-strike offering. Here it is. Fastball, cut and a miss in the dirt. Knocked down by Hackenberg. The tag applied to the back of Eister. He goes down. So a strikeout for Jonas Scolaro. That's his third of his outing.
Now batting from Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo.
So YD transitions things with one out and nobody on. Tate Samuelson's going to make his way to the plate. So another pinch hitter for YD. So Scolaro was seeing an abundance of new faces throughout the YD lineup. At some point, umpire Jeff Marzell writing down the change on his lineup card. Eric Tolman had come in to pinch hit earlier on in the ball game. He didn't go for much. Reached on an E6, but was stranded at second base. This is Tate Samuelson. Pinch hitting in that number 8 spot once again. Scolaro fires in a first pitch strike at the knees. So the left-hander, Seminole out of Florida State, trying to wiggle out of things here. A YD team that's put up a 2 spot here in the 7th. Count evens at 1-1. He missed with a breaking ball down and in. And to say the very least, this has been an entertaining ball game throughout here on the 4th of July. Back and forth we go. Knotted at 7 again. There's a 1-1 fastball from Scolaro. Misses up and in.
And it's been really back and forth. I mean, see Hyannis put up the 3 in the 7th. YD's responded right here. These two teams actually played on the 4th of July last year, but YD won that one 7-2 at Hyannis.
2-1 fastball from Scolaro in on the bottom part of the zone, and the count levels at 2-2. Well, last night, the game at Hyannis, an absolute one-sided beatdown. 13-1, the Red Sox took that one going away. But Hyannis giving them all they can handle and more here at Red Wilson. Cut and a miss, strike 3. Scolaro drops in a breaking ball on Samuelson, so he goes down. 2 strikeouts in the inning for the left-hander, and now that'll give things to Gavin Dugas.
And another good strikeout from Scolaro. Just gets the hitter Samuelson swinging. A good breaking ball. That's back-to-back Ks for the Florida State lefty.
So Dugas out of the number 9 spot. He's drawn a pair of walks tonight, batting with 2 out and nobody on as he watches a fastball inside. Reached on a fielder's choice back in the 2nd inning. And reached third base. That's the furthest he's gone around the bases tonight. Scolaro winds his 1-0 on the way. Big swing and a miss through a fastball. Southpaw pumping one by him at the top of the zone. It's 1-1. So Hyannis will get their ups in the top of the 8th as the sun continues to set, hoping trying to earn their 4th win of the season as the breaking ball misses down. It's 2-1. And meanwhile, for YD, they're trying to hang on and advance to 12-6-1 and pick up their 5th home win here at Red Wilson Field. Scolaro's 2-1 offering. Fastball fouled straight back off the fence. The count levels at 2-2. It's been a lot of traveling for Hyannis as of late. They've made a couple stops around the Cape, some stops in the Eastern Division. Another stop against an Eastern Division foe here tonight, battling the Red Sox. Check swing from Dugas. Did he go around? And no go, says first base umpire Sam Finn. Looked like Dugas pulled up in time, but Hackenberg just wanted to be sure. So the count fills 3-2 to the Red Sox second baseman. Scolaro trying to work his way out of a 7th inning that's seen YD put up 2 as the fastball fouled away out of play. So again, 19 hits combined in this ball game by the 2 ball clubs. 14 runs, split in half. Count 3-2 to Scolaro as he puts that black glove in front of his face. Now brings his hands together, and here comes a payoff pitch. Fastball high, and he walked him. 2 walks surrendered in the inning from Scolaro. He's up to 4 on the evening.
Shortstop, Wyatt Young.
Not had the most sterling night with the command, so that puts a runner on with 2 down, and that will transition things back to the top of the order for a dangerous Wyatt Young.
Yeah, and how about that for Gavin Dugas? That is 3 straight walks in his last 3 plate appearances. So for a number 9 hitter that came into the day hitting .091, Hyannis just hasn't been able to get him out. Now they're going to have to deal with a much tougher bat, like you said, with Wyatt Young at the plate.
Well, the Hyannis staff got the better of Young the last time he was at the plate, and it was actually Scolaro who fanned him on a drop third strike and was able to escape any sort of YD trouble in that frame. The Dugas a short lead off of first. Scolaro, that left foot towing the back of the rubber as he stares down at Hackenberg for a sign. The southpaw set at the belt, kick and a fire back to first. Diving in head first is Dugas. So a couple of walks and a couple of strikeouts, and of course the home run. That has us knotted at 7 apiece here from Wed Wilson and Yarmouth as we move toward nightfall. Fireworks on the schedule coming up shortly around Cape Cod. We're put on hold for the moment as we have a good ball game here at Red Wilson. First pitch from Scolaro to Young is fouled away. One drifting way back into the left off over the bleachers. Well, Young on his evening so far has reached base twice, both coming in the first and second innings courtesy of singles. And Lyle, you talked about it a little bit earlier. The top 3 men in this YD lineup all could be considered for MVP honors later on in the summer.
Yeah, they could, and they're all really, really solid at the plate in each of their different ways. Young with the average, Wells with the power, and Wells has a high average too. But Noah Campbell, another guy that can just kind of do it all. So it's a reason this YD offense has been so potent this season.
Galaro, another check on Dugas as he's back head first again. Getting that uniform dirty over with DeSantolo at first base, holding him aboard. Scolaro, not a very quick move over to first base, just kind of a courtesy toss. Young steps back in, waves the bat toward him a few times. He's got a 0-1 count. A long steer to first, now the pitch. Fastball roped past DeSantolo into right field. That's a base hit. Dugas is going to advance up to second base and stop there, and Wyatt Young's got himself his 3rd base knock of the night. And YD's got something cooking with 2 down.
Designated hitter.
Yeah, Young just scorches that one. Dugas had to get out of the way of it. It almost hit him, which of course would have been an out. But now it brings up Noah Campbell again. The second of 3 of a deadly trio at the top of the YD lineup, and Jonas Scolaro is going to have to get one of them out if he wants to keep this game at a tie contest.
And Campbell's also been aboard twice. Singled and walked. He's looking for his 2nd hit of the night. Scolaro toes the rubber and looks down toward Hackenberg. Both runners, Young and Dugas respectively, getting short leads at their bags. Scolaro a pause, now the pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt, knocked down by Hackenberg to keep both runners put. And again, play is slowed down considerably with runners aboard, and that tends to happen with a lot of relievers that come out of the bullpen. It's all mind games on these base paths as it is right now for YD. Trying to pull ahead here in the bottom of the 7th at home at Red Wilson Field. Scolaro at the belt, the 1-0. Fastball, chopper foul toward the Hyannis dugout. The count even at 1-1. Both teams now even in every column on the scoreboard. 7 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error for both sides. The count stands at 1-1 to the DH Noah Campbell with 2 down. Dan Gassman opting to work with the left-hander, the Florida State Seminole, trusting him to get him out of a jam. The 1-1. Breaking ball, that's down and away. The count moves to 2-1. Scolaro has given up 4 walks, and he struck out 4 tonight. So he struggled a bit with the command. Now he's fallen behind a dangerous hitter in Campbell. Scolaro, a long stare down toward Hackenberg. Slowly comes set. Now he's got his sign. A look to second. Now fires home. Fastball high and away. It's 3-1. So a big spot here for Jonas Scolaro on the mound. 1 pitch away from surrendering his 5th walk, which would load the bases for Austin Wells. So the big power hitting catcher looming in the on-deck circle. Scolaro's got to work himself back to Campbell. He's got 2 down in the inning. Pause now to 3-1. Fastball, that's roped over the glove of Julian into left field, a base hit. Coming around third in to score is Dugas. The throw is going to be cut off, and YD has snatched the lead back. It's 8-7. An RBI single off the bat of Noah Campbell, and YD has taken the lead back here at home.
Well, Scolaro works down to a 3-1 count. Have to get something out over the plate. Caught too much. The switch hitting Campbell, who moved over to the right side just an at bat ago, scorches one down the left field line. However, didn't have much of a play at the plate, and just like that, like you said, Red Sox take the lead back.
So now it's the catcher, Austin Wells, who strolls up to the plate. He's batting here with 2 on and 2 out. And YD has done the damage. They respond off the Hyannis 3 spot that came in the top of the 7th with 3 more of their own. They've put up 8 runs now on 11 hits in the ball game, and this offense, which has been so dangerous all season long, putting up some more output here tonight against this Hyannis team as Scolaro misses down with a breaking ball. It's 1-0. YD entered the night second in the league in hits with 150. So now we're now above 160 at 161. 4th in home runs. We saw one earlier on in this inning that drove in 2 runs to tie the game. That was Brad Beasley. 1-0 from Scolaro's breaking ball was in for a strike to even the count. So Scolaro has not had himself the best outing out of the pen tonight. Walked 4 and struck out 4, but the more important number, those earned runs. He's now tallied 3 of them. Wells patiently awaiting in the batter's box, a 1-1 pitch. He sends that one on a line and through into right field. That's a base hit. Wyatt Young around third. He's going to come in to score. And he'll come across without a throw. It's 9-7 Red Sox. Another RBI single, this time courtesy of Austin Wells. And Lyle, these top 3 hitters in this lineup just doing some more damage to Hyannis.
And that's why getting Gavin Dugas out was so important, but Scolaro ended up losing him with the walk, and all 3 hitters at the top of the lineup have done their damage here in the bottom of the 7th. So again, Hyannis puts up that 3 spot just like they did in the bottom of the 4th, or the top of the 4th, where Whitey responds in the bottom of the 5th. Here they put up 3 in the 7th. Red Sox respond with 4 of their own in the bottom of the frame.
So the YD offense exploding here at home in the 7th inning. And now Chad Gassman has made his way out to the mound. And it looks like that might be it for play here tonight. Umpires talking it over, and that's going to be it. Hyannis strolls off the field. And that's going to be it for play here tonight from Red Wilson Field. YD is going to take this one at home in South Yarmouth. They put up 4 in the bottom of the 7th to win it 9-7. So play is going to be suspended in the bottom of the 7th, and that will do it. YD is going to hang on to win. So the hometown Red Sox improved to 12-6-1. And Hyannis couldn't hold the lead in the 7th inning. They fall to 3-15-1. And while in a shortened 7-inning game, once again, the pitching staff is coming up short.
Yeah, and we talked about that's why getting the lead out of the 7th inning was going to be so big, because with play getting darker and darker, no lights here at Red Wilson, it would have reverted back to the last inning. So that's why it was almost like getting out of the 7th could have ended up being a huge solution for Hyannis, as it likely could have resulted in a win, but just a 4 spot put up by YD in the bottom of the 7th. That Noah Campbell RBI single, the Austin Wells RBI single, the 2 big ones that gave YD the lead and ended up making them victorious tonight.
On the offensive side of things for Hyannis, they put up 7 runs on 10 hits. So the bats were working. We know that. It was the pitching staff that just couldn't hold the lead there at the end, but 2 3 spots put up by the Hyannis offense over the course of the ball game. And you can look at a couple of guys in this lineup. Hunter Goodman had himself a day. He had a home run and a pair of RBIs as well. Rigsby Mosley came in and had that huge RBI triple at the time to put Hyannis in the lead. Jackson Olsen had a hit. DeSantelo had a couple hits. So the offense was doing their part, definitely.
Yeah, and it's again another good outing on the road by a Hyannis ball club. And again, they got down and they rallied back this time to take a lead. In fact, they took 2 different leads, but they just couldn't quite hold it. So again, they came back to tie it in Katuitt. They started to chip away in Orleans. They had a lead at Red Wilson against the YD Red Sox, whose offense is probably as good as anybody's in the league. But they just couldn't quite hold it late, and as a result, they pick up the loss and move to 3-15-1 on the season.
So another tough one for Hyannis. They couldn't hold the lead on the road. They dropped this one by a final score of 9-7. YD put up 9 runs on 12 hits and 1 error. Hyannis 7 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error. So this one ends in 7 from Red Wilson Field. Tomorrow night, Hyannis returns home to take on the Katuitt Cavaliers at 6 p.m. is the scheduled first pitch start time. For Brendan Howe and Lyle Goldstein signing off. We'll talk to you tomorrow from McKeon Park.